I'm cold steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said don't suffer no fools. Serpents daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. Gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. Come cold blood, selfish. Your words are painless. I like when I drive and feel so dangerous. They say I'm a red flag, 'cause they want it so bad. You should know I'm holding on to what I had. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, you should know I can be a weapon. I can be a weapon. I used to view you as a mountain that I couldn't climb at first. But I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst.
Hello and welcome everybody to week 3 of the Marvel Rivals NECC tournament. I am Shibby. Here next to me, the other side is Vaudable. And Vaudable, we have had 2 weeks of Marvel Rivals collegiate play, and it's safe to say it is chaotic, it is hectic, but most importantly, it's been a ton of fun watching all of these teams and all of these schools go at it because I think like the turnout from Division 1 to Division 5, we have like 80 plus teams.
So many teams. I mean, I think in total there were somewhere around like 270 or 80 that signed up. Don't quote me on that, but a lot of people signed up for Collegiate Marvel Rivals for the first ever semester of it, which bodes well. That means there's a lot of interest in it, a lot of programs that necessarily haven't recruited for it yet, but have a lot of people that play the game. And it just goes to show the strength of it as an esport. Now we just got to hope it continues into the spring and future semesters and those actual recruitment. I mean, we have like 2 teams or 3 that'll happen in spring that have like actual pros on their roster, but the rest of the teams that are out there still giving it all. There's still a lot of competitive players from, all the way down to Div 8 all the way up to Div 1. I mean, we even saw the like best roster outside of Northwood Fisher lose to Georgia Tech Gold, which isn't even like offering scholarships for esports. They just were a team that went there and is graduating after this semester. So it's like anyone can win these series. You don't have to necessarily be like the top team out there, and that's what makes these so interesting.
Yeah, I think the other cool thing about it is that I think we're definitely going to have a reshuffling of the divisions come spring.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are some teams here that are like Div 5, right? Air quotations. And like their lowest ranked player is Grandmaster 3. Like, okay, wait a minute. You might need to be a little bit higher here. But again, this is our first official season of Collegiate Marvel Rivals. NECC is the first official collegiate partner. So that's what's really cool. And we've got some jam-packed series today. Series 1, we've got Leslie University versus U Albany Gold. And here are our rosters. Pick-Tack, Quenchable, Marcus. Cloud is Loud, Dark Magic, and Spitfire for Leslie University. And for U Albany, we've got Zombie, Felicity, Esquinoff, Cinders,
it's on the other side,
and Goku VR. And we're actually going to swap them. I lied. My
How
bad.
How dare you?
Regardless, the really interesting thing is some of these players, Zombie and Felicity specifically, are Eternity Peak players. For people that don't understand what that means, maybe you're just coming in, the highest rank in the game is 1 above all. That is the top 500 players. Right below that, all the people that are not top 500, they're Eternity. So just kind of put that into perspective. They're have 2 players that are, they're pretty good. They have 2 of the highest ranked players, or 2 of the highest ranked players in NECC at the moment. That's why I talked about the reshuffling of the divisions and stuff like that. Like, there are some heavy hitters on both of these teams and throughout all the divisions. As we are going to get into the maps, Vaudable, we do have a new map being added in soon, not right now, if you guys have been paying attention to Marvel Rivals. But the big thing here, Vaudable, along with these maps, is that Angela has been enabled, and we've already seen a little bit in NECC.
We have seen a lot of that in NECC. We've seen a lot of people that just kind of play it in solo queue. We will potentially see it here as well. But look what we also have here. It looks like Hell's Heaven is likely going to be the map. We'll see if that's the actual selection. They'll fix the other stuff in the background. But again, it looks like there was a ban for Symbiotic Surface on the other side. But we are doing Domination here, so it is going to be Hydra Charter's base. And again, Shivy, I know this is like the bane of your existence in terms of maps, but it's just kind of a standard map that we do see to start things off for a lot of these teams.
Oh my, there's so many other control point maps in the game, Vaudable, that are so much better than Hydra Charter's base. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Every week I'm here, I will rant about this map. It is arguably one of the worst map changes. Like, they changed the terrain. It's useless. Most of the time, it's not even fun. Like, the other control point maps, Beer Ninja Tala is so much more fun because of the actual terrain changes. But you know what? Comfort is king here, as we are going to get into the pick and ban phase for Leslie University versus U Albany Gold. And for people that aren't familiar with this is a very standard, I would say, pick and ban phase. It's much more akin to what you are used to in solo queue. Instead, this time, on top of there being 3 global bans, there are also 2 global saves here. And Leslie University is already going to take out the oh-so-coveted Luna Snow here and save the Phoenix for themselves.
I also like the Black Panther ban. We didn't get a chance to see what Cinder's pool was based on not having access to their tracker, but after people got in the lobby, they quickly looked and saw, oh, Bucky and Black Panther. If you see someone that's really good at Black Panther, especially at this level of the game, you do not want to play against them. It makes sense why they went for that ban immediately. Emma also kind of a staple you see there with the Luna Snow. Not too surprised by that. Very staples with the saves that we have seen too. With the Cloak and Dagger, especially because on the side of Leslie, if I'm not mistaken, we don't really have the strongest backline for them. From what we've seen, we see a lot of flex it on their side. So a lot of people that aren't as comfortable in one specific role, which I think benefits them in some ways, but is also a negative in others. And on the other side, for you Albany, we do have a couple bronze players in the duelist and strategist side of things. So they want to make sure they secure their good duelists, which is probably Phoenix, as we can see, and also their top level vanguards, which Magneto is such a staple at this point. Ooh, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff as well being saved is really good here. I love that. We've seen it in the Marvel Rivals Ignite, both in America and EU, how that hero has risen in popularity, both in 3 support compositions, but also sometimes have been making it work in the 2 support competitions. And you, Albany, have been doing a little bit of homework. Dankest Owl on Leslie's side specifically is an Iron Man and Cap player. So I'm really interested to see. There's not too many crazy target bans here other than that Captain America. Mag is still open for Zombie. Punisher is still open for Esquinoff. And we also have Iron Man and Venom open for Dankest Owl and Goku. And like you mentioned, Leslie University has 4 flex players, so they can kind of pick and choose where they want to go. Even Zombie, who is listed as their Vanguard player, can also swap to Duelist. She is a dual threat.
We'll see what the exact strategy is going to be here, Shippy. I mean, this is the big thing, too, when it comes to these specific divisions and facing off against your opponent. It's not necessarily when it comes to like a meta you would see in either MRC or Ignite. It really comes down to playing to your opponents. And you talked about it, you, Albany, focusing so much of those bans on the hero pool of the other team, I think is a great idea. But also, I do want to talk about this since it's kind of evolved throughout the recent month of competition that's been going on. The resurgence of Jeff meta. I mean, we had not seen Jeff be as prominent until kind of mid-season when Fate popularized them for a while. And we did see them at the start of the year being that duelist, the DPS Jeff, as we like to talk about. But the rework had a lot of doubters. Now we see how effective they've been at the highest level, especially with the team-ups, giving them some more healing as well. So there's a couple different options that they could go for, but really curious on how this Jeff will come to play. Pictac doing everything that they can. They're a Diamond 1, so one of the higher ranks on this team, and try to see if they can keep their team alive, but also send everyone off the map when they need to.
Yeah, this is Pictac's most played hero all time. In Season 4. Their second most played all time, along with Strange and Venom. So, like we said, a secure from Albany Gold for one of their most important heroes. While Dankest Owl, the guy is an Ultron player. It's his most played in Season 4. He's been playing it a ton. Rightfully so. 3 support has been super dominant. It looks like both teams have kind of hyper-indexed onto that. The big thing here, though, is that Leslie is opting for the 1 tank 2 DPS composition, while Albany's opting in for a much more, beefier frontline, although Thor is kind of like a hybrid tank duelist in my mind. He's just a really big duelist, realistically.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Thor before. They've had some buffs here and there based on using their ultimate ability, but now we do see the Dark Phoenix coming out this time and not really going to be able to do too much. I feel like that was a bit preemptive from Leslie's side, trying to push them off the objective, but they didn't get any ground from it.
Ooh, and Pictac, nice big eat. And yeah, that noise, the chomping noise, that's not from us. That's actually inside of the actual game here. I love that this eat. I'm really interested to see why he didn't opt in to take them off the map. Maybe didn't want to isolate himself against Leslie University. And I like how you called that out. Zombies Ultimate specifically, they have the Magneto Phoenix combo that is oh so popular in Ignite at the moment, where the Phoenix will ult, then the Magneto will throw his ult up in the air, and then you go down with the Phoenix and you can finish everybody off with the Meteor M. Them not comboing that is a big mistake, because now you just have a raw Meteor M, and I actually don't think this is going to get that much value, because Dark Magic's on the Magneto to protect Marcus, and we do see an Extermination coming out from Dankest Owl. In response, Marcus is going to pop that Eternal Bond, and look, no ultimate available. Felicity actually, I think, got grabbed out of their Meteor M by Spitfire.
Oh, that's a tough spot to be in. And the Meteor M barely hitting the scenery there as well. Tried to see if they could snipe out the Thor or anyone that was really in that side, actually, on the other end. But the Dark Phoenix does come through again. Not the combination that they were looking for. Just trying to push people away from the objective, do some good damage. But the utility that we've seen from Zombie on that ultimate, need a little bit more from them to kind of keep things going. Because looking at you, Albany, doing pretty well for themselves. Yes, possession has transferred hands into Leslie University's side, but in terms of ultimate, Spitfire holding on to their Kraken Impact and waiting for the prime moment to use it.
Yeah, 90% has been garnered by you, Albany, and this is that moment where Leslie kind of have to play near perfect, right? They do have an opportunity, even if the point does get flipped, to Strange Portal back onto the point here. Looking at the ult economy, though, Spitfire does have that Kraken Impact, and you know how impactful that ability is, especially with Leslie not having any support ultimates available. Dankus Owl is nearing it at that 90% mark with the Ultron, but I feel like if you're using Ultron ult to heal your team, you're not getting the most value out of it, as Pictac has another Jeff ult ready to go, and unfortunately isn't able to eat anyone.
Oh, no.
Here comes the Kraken Impact. Spitfire's already popping up, has taken down Goku BR, but Felicity dunks him with the Meteor M. It's still a 4v5 for you, Albany Gold, and Leslie University are falling slowly but surely. So we do see Zombie popping that Phoenix ultimate. Unfortunately, gets everybody low, but no kills come back. And when you respawn here, back here, there is a big bad Thor waiting for you. Quenchable takes him out, and here's that Doctor Strange portal coming in. Somebody's gonna have to touch on Leslie's side, though.
Yeah, they got to get close, and they barely do at the last second, but overtime is ticking down. So the portal will come through this time. We'll see how effective it is from Leslie. Felicity, again, that veteran skill that we expect from an attorney player, knowing when to use it, but the Kraken Impact does come out this time from Cinders. We talked about how they played Bucky a lot, but nobody was on the objective. Everyone was taken out immediately. The Bucky was away from the point, and instead it will be you, Albany, just taking that in stride.
That's a Charlie Niner on the point. Guys, we got to get on there.
Like, the portal comes in and then nobody's there. That's a heartbreaker. Honestly, I think that is probably the worst way to lose a round. I think the only other one is when you get off the payload, even though you're pushing it. That's probably a little bit more heartbreaking, as we do get a tab over to the stats here. Quenchable on this Thor, showing the power of what was a pretty underused Vanguard in most of the competitive season. Still viewed as one of the worst Vanguards in the game, quite honestly.
I think if you're a solid Thor, though, against some competition that's not as prepared against it, then they don't really know what to do against you, because they're used to like the typical Vanguard that's kind of poking you and, you know, pushing your buttons and trying to just say, hey, get off the objective. Whereas Thor just hits you in the face of a steel chair, and it's basically like it's Monday Night Raw all over again. So we'll see what they can do with the Thor, because Quenchable, again, not the highest rank on their team, Platinum 1, but still pretty decent for their squad. Really doing well. I mean, Thor is their most played hero for good reason.
Yeah, and has that ultimate available here. Can use it, potentially forcing out Gento's invisible barrier. This point particularly is kind of difficult to take for those single tank compositions, and Leslie University has swapped over to a 2-2 composition, especially with Human Torch on the table, as Quenchable does get pulled, but unfortunately Cinder pulls him to his doom. Dark Magic unable to land the Meteor M onto Leslie University's Goku BR, but they are going to take point control here, as it is a 6v4 right now, and Quenchable, another kill on the board. I love that they are just beelining it towards the back line, completely ignoring the enemy Magneto, saying you can't protect him from all of us.
Awakening Rune is just so good too on Thor. Yes. I mean, they've improved it time and time again, also making it so that their ultimate is a little bit better, slowing down people as they go through it as well. And I think it's a bit of extra speed that was added to its usage. So it's a little bit better than it was when it originally debuted.
Stuns.
Yeah, stuns, which is huge. And I think that's a lot of utility that Thor mains were hoping for to be added. It's still not exactly where they want it to be, but a lot of players just have not prepared and played against many Thors out there, especially at these ranks.
Yeah, you'd think as well, Winter Soldier being one of the premier counters to like dive and more brawl style heroes. Unfortunately, Cinder's not finding that success. Invisible Barrier does get popped for Gento in response to Spitfire's Kraken Impact, as well as we did hear Felicity pop the Groot ultimate, but here comes Pictac with a massive potential eat right now. Cloak does come in, but is able to take the Winter Soldier. Is he going to just spit him off the map? Oh, and he's going to stagger him too.
Oh man, that's gotta hurt.
Beautiful from Big Tech. That is a seasoned Jeff player. That's not just somebody that picked him up because he's OP. That's someone that's been playing Jeff in the dark days.
Yeah, playing Jeff since day 0 in the beta and everything. It's like, I like this character. He's funny and he's a shark. And then just gobbles up the competition, waits for their perfect time to strike, and sends them packing. So, Leslie University, I think the big thing here is it just goes to show that even if you have the highest ranked players in the lobby, you still need that coordination. And it's not all said and done when you have kind of those top rank duelist or vanguards on the other side. It's mainly vanguards for their team, but we do see a zombie kind of flexing a little bit onto the duelist side of things, and now we do see a thing coming out. Felicity getting a 2-piece for themselves. The knuckle sandwich delivered to the other team, but will that be enough? They do push the rest of the squad off from U Albany, so they're finally getting some more percentage, but is it too late?
Round 2 looking very similar to round 1. U Albany have garnered 93% for themselves, while Leslie University are ticking towards that 25% mark. Albany just need to win one team fight, and they've got the tools ready, right? Kraken Impact, Thor Ultimate, and we've got Meteor M all ready to go. Big game-changing ultimates. Goku BR needs to be very, very careful on when they use their Eternal Bond, because if Dark Magic lands that massive Meteor M onto them, the classic counter, Leslie University's chances of securing this round go right out the window.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough spot. Clobbering time does come through. They tried to use the cloak to save them as best as they could, but really still managed to get a couple of them. Kraken Impact coming through as well from Cinders. Didn't work out as well before, but Quenchable also just getting rid of the back line themselves and going towards the objective just to make it that much more difficult for Leslie to hold things down.
Quenchable is a one-man army. Gets eaten up by his own Jeff here, but that's a good zoning ultimate regardless, right? Quenchable just hard carried that fight, by the way. I think got 4 solo elims by himself. Here comes the portal come from Leslie University. All right, guys, this time you have to stay on the point. Here comes the Meteor M from Goku BR. Dark Magic not there in kind to respond with the Meteor M just yet, and we do see Spitfire on the outskirts of this fight, waiting out this invisible barrier with that Kraken Impact. Almost falls off the map. Gabe also used the invisible barrier, and here comes Kraken Impact. Just needs one reset to get things going, and the dynamic duo of Quenchable and Spitfire surely secures all of these eliminations.
Wow.
And another reset coming in for Spitfire. Eye of Agamotto lands, but it doesn't matter. It's too little too late. Your reinforcements have been thinned, and U Albany Gold take game 1 of this best-of-5 series.
I don't think it's just necessarily like one person popping off here from U Albany, Shibby. I think it was an entire team effort. Yes, we did see some greatness from Quenchable on the Thor. Spitfire also popping off at the end there with the Kraken Impact. But also I have to give some shout outs to PicTac. They did great work with the Jeff, keeping them supported and also making sure that they used their ultimates as best as they could. Yeah, they did swallow up the Thor, but it kind of worked out in the end nonetheless, because there was the extra healing in the way. And the rest of their team really just picked up where they left off. Dark Magic, only a single death to their name. That's huge as a Vanguard. Whereas you look on the other side, the minimum amount of deaths we saw was 6, and they were just struggling to stay alive, stay in the fight, and work together. And I think that really just goes to show that, again, you don't necessarily need the highest ranked players in your team. You need that coordination, and that's what we're seeing so far from U Albany. See that continues, though, for the next map.
I know you called it a team effort from U Albany Gold, but my eyes could not detract itself from the 17 final hits taken by Quenchable.
True.
Look, definitely team effort. You need a team.
All assisted, though. Look at those assists,
game.
is all I got to say.
Yes, that's true. That's true. 28, 25, 21. The support line for U Albany were definitely in there helping their team out. And again, I talked about Quenchable. I talked about Thor. He's just a kind of a big, beefy duelist. And when you can get into those situations where you don't have to worry about your health bar because you have 3 other supports helping you out, keeping you topped off, technically you're just running like a 1.5 tank composition. And especially with that extra execution on the Winter Soldier, specifically Spitfire, doing his job, pulling the right members, making sure that Quenchable can get in and get out. Really, really good play from U Albany. Really, really good team play, right? It felt like Leslie's Eternity players could not make up the difference. They were swapping around Zombie and Felicity, and we did see Felicity pop off a little bit when they would swap to different tanks, but ultimately, like you said, it's a 6v6 game, and when a couple of your members aren't performing up to expectations, that's where a team like U Albany Gold, who has been playing better, and in my opinion has a slightly higher average rank, right? Because a lot of their players are roughly around the same rank. Not no Eternity players, but they got some GMs, they've got some diamonds. That kind of coordination and synergy is built upon a lot easier. As Vaudable, I think we go to one of your favorite maps. Central Park is going to be map 2.
I like to see it. Central Park's always a fun one that I've seen a couple times before. I feel like I'm curious how Thor would act on this map specifically. I think in the first chokehold, if you could just kind of bob and weave around that first area, if you are on defense, you might be a bit of a nuisance to the other team. But I think a lot of the usefulness that we did see with Thor, if they are played this time again from UAlbany, does come around with kind of going in and out, and there's a couple of those flanking areas between when you get the first capture point and that second checkpoint. I could expect some good damage being done there. You could also take people off the edge when it's towards the bridge into that third area as well. So a couple different options there. Black Panther still getting banned out. They want to make sure they have the Jeff because there's a couple areas that you can go off the map with Jeff here specifically. And Leslie still just don't want to deal with the Luna Snow. I mean, it makes sense, especially with Convergence. Luna Snow is one of the best supports in the game for a reason, even with the, what was it, like 2 seconds nerf to their ultimate uptime. Even that it's not too much. But the Doctor Strange ban, that is huge, especially on this map, because you usually see Doctor Strange portals come in at the last minute and make it so difficult to hold that objective.
Yeah, I love that Doctor Strange ban as well. Leslie are kind of splitting the difference here. I talked about, kind of into my prep a little bit, like Luna would be a really good ban, or Jeff, or Rocket. I'm surprised they didn't take the Jeff away from UAlbany. That's a hero I just don't want to deal with, right? If I'm Leslie and I'm unwilling to play Jeff DeLandshock to try to match some of that, elimination power, the sustain and stuff like that, giving UAlbany one of their players, quite possibly their best hero in all of the players here, could be rough. And I like that UAlbany's also just saving the support line. Leslie seems like they've been watching a lot more Ignite. Vaudable, I think on average we were seeing 4 support bans consistently.
Yes.
Right? It was Mantis,
so
Luna,
many.
Jeff, Invis, Cloak. Like, it was very, very tough. As a Spider-Man is going to be banned out from Albany there. I believe one of Leslie's players plays a ton of Spider-Man, and there are opportunities.
It was Cinder
spots,
that flex to it at the end there, so we might see something like that. Like a Venom Spider-Man too would be so annoying to play against, especially because they can just dive in and dive out when they need to. Get rid of the backline. Rocket Raccoon getting banned out too. They want to make sure they at least focus on some support. They banned 3, as you were talking about. There's always been such a big focus this season with banning supports, especially because triple support is such a big menace to deal with. So they're limiting the options, and Rocket Raccoon also in the upcoming patch is just going to be better because their damage gets boosted up again for some reason.
You've been watching my TikToks, Vaudable. I know for sure. I'm just joking.
No,
I have. The patch notes. Yeah, you're not reading the patch notes here, but the Spider-Man ban is good because on multiple points of this map, you can just get yanked off, like, completely. Especially on that final point into that little pit, Spider-Mans will have a field day here. I do like the Rocket Luna bans. Those are high-value bans into UAlbany specifically, because a lot of their support lines, these support players, Gabe and Pigtac, outside of Invisible Woman and Jeff, they don't really have the most flexible of pools here, as well as Marcus playing that Loki. I think that's his fourth most played hero in all of his champion or hero pool. Like Rocket, Luna, Cloak, that's all there. So Loki is going to be his 4th most played support. Going to be on a little bit of a discomfort, especially with the state that Loki is in right now. He's dead, right? Like, he got nerfed into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, he could still do some stuff. So maybe copying some of those support ultimates might be their strategy here, or maybe they just want an extra crack and impact. Who really knows what their plan is going to be with a Loki? I feel like Loki is always just such an interesting pick for this kind of a rank state as well. So we'll see what the strategy is going to be for them. I've seen Loki be a little bit better on defense on this map instead of the attacking side. So really curious where they're going to position their Loki clones to do the most damage for their squad. But as you see, Quenchable, that's the focus, keeping them up and making sure that they can take down the other team as best as possible. They were the ones that were really fragging out in the last game. You mentioned it, 17 final hits. We'll see how effective that's going to be going forward, though, because right now it just seems like they're meeting a stalwart wall of defense from Leslie and haven't really come up with a strategy just yet.
And it looks like Pigtac has already gotten their ult here. We do see Goku, and that's a 3-man eat potentially. Armed and Dangerous did come in, and he's just going to take 3 members right off the map. Leslie University, sorry, you've got to give this point up. Unfortunately, Goku does have 2 members, but I don't think he's going to have the same ability to take those members off because his whole team is dead. Really, really well played from Pictac.
Yeah. This is what I was talking about with the ban of the Doctor Strange, too. You can use the Jeff, take them off the map, delay it a little bit as long as you can, and they can't portal back, so you get the first objective scot-free. You don't have to worry about anything for you, Albany. So great strategy we're seeing from their side of things so far. We'll see how long it takes them, though, to get to that second checkpoint.
I'm surprised this Thor is allowed to play the game. When I see Emma and I'm playing Thor, I'm like, yeah, I'm going right back to the spawn room and I'm swapping over. But they have been putting a lot of, oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, Quenchable does get grabbed by Felicity. And that's kind of how the matchup goes here. You, Albany, are going to have to play a little bit safer as they've lost one of their vanguards here. And this is an interesting spot because I've seen a lot of teams able to hold teams like you, Albany, and others in their spawn here. This first little corner around is really, really difficult for the attacking team to go through, and Felicity making it even more impossible as that Psionic Embrace comes in. Doesn't really get anybody, but zones them out and takes a lot of time off the clock, which is exactly what they need, because you, Albany, with that first point take, have 4 minutes here, and Kraken Impact coming out from Spitfire at the moment. Unable to confirm more than 2 kills, but I think that's going to do the job, especially because he's found Zombie in a corner by themselves.
Ooh, and Zombie opting not to respawn and use their ultimate. They are just trying to regroup with their team, and I think that's a wise decision. They weren't really in the best position to try and avoid bob and weave and then get that revive off. Instead, they're going to have to go for the next fight here. One final stop if they can make it right before that second checkpoint. But you, Albany, do pretty good for the most part, apart from that first stop that we did see from Felicity. Changing things up again with the Emma, and they're looking Stall is focusing on Spitfire, the strongest damage dealing members of the other team. Kraken Impact, so we'll see how effective this is. How much?
Not effective at all. Unfortunately for Cinders, unable to get any reach. That's just not having the same impact, let's say, that Spitfire has been having. And Pictac holding on to that Jeff ultimate. I'm expecting big things from this guy, as I've seen 1 3-man elimination. Can he go for more? Especially because there are multiple areas where you can take people off the map here. But you, Albany, do have to back up just a little bit. They are taking a ton of poke from Leslie University.
I'm liking this focus as well from you, Albany, though, making sure that they have their support ults building up because of how much damage the rest of their team is taking. It's been very quick that we've been seeing them getting their support ultimates, but ultimate economy in the favor of Leslie University. Felicity doing a big job for their team. Need this to be a huge grab for them. They're taking their time to delay things as best as possible, try and focus in on Felicity, and also seeing on the other side of things Cinders, and yeah, taking them into the spawn room so that they can't do anything. That's always a great maneuver because they die there as well.
Yeah, it's essentially like taking off the map. They do take slight tick damage, but ultimately they will get eliminated. And it's a nice little stagger as well, because it's a 4v6 temporarily for Leslie University at the moment. Zombie as well, maybe going to opt into respawn here, right in front of Pictac. So Portal Combat, never mind. I lied. Quenchable is here, and the rest of the gang. Very, very well played from you, Albany, to completely deny the Karmic Retribution. I'm going to be quite honest here, Audible. This Adam has had 0 value for Leslie University.
That's been the toughest part for Zombie, it felt like, so far. They've had a struggle in domination. They've had a struggle to figure out exactly where they should fit in the role on support this time as well. So Quenchable looking pretty solid there. Again, they do get taken out by Zombie. A little bit of hit scan damage coming from the Adam Warlock that time. But great shields coming out onto Spitfire, making sure that they can keep some sustained damage going, build up that ultimate even more so, because they're the one with the least charge on their team, the least charge in the game, actually. Almost everyone has their ultimate. This next team fight's going to be huge.
Yeah, Leslie University need to make this one count, especially because, honestly, they've been getting rolled through all of these points. Goku BR looking for an impactful ultimate. Has only taken 1 here. Can just spit them down the map. Doesn't need to go alone here. That's Spitfire going out, but Quenchable quickly takes it back. And another God of Thunder coming out from Quenchable. I mean, this guy's a human highlight reel. Every time we pan over to Quenchable, it's 1, 2, 3 different eliminations. That's not Thor Audible. That is Odin. That's the God of Thunder in my screen.
I mean, might as well call him 4 because that's how many kills he was able to get there that time and just take out the rest of the team. A couple of them remaining as stragglers, but their teammates were able to clean things up as well. You, Albany, have not really been stopped too much except in front of that second checkpoint door. for a couple of moments. Now we do got to see something out of Leslie University. Maybe we'll see some
Cinders
retribution come through, but Cinders, we'll see if they do get swallowed up. Pictac doesn't get a single person with their ultimate. There's been a couple instances where we've seen that go awry, so not the best look from them, but the rest of their team is carrying forward.
Zombie does have that ultimate available. Nice respawn as well. Sometimes you just want to respawn so you can keep up the tempo here, especially because in this 3 support composition, you want to make sure you can get all the healing you can down. Nice stop from Leslie University. It's in a minute and a half for UAlbany. We are in potential last fight territory, especially because the Strange has been banned out. UAlbany need to make sure they have all their ducks in a row here. Spitfire does have that ultimate available with the Kraken Impact. Dark Magic with these Meteor Rams have not been as impactful as I've liked to see, but it's tough when you run into those 3 support compositions. Dark Magic, though, taking down Felicity, and there's that tempo res coming in from Zombie, but Quenchable says, you know what, I've got another God of Thunder ready to go. Does get pulled, somehow makes it out alive. Gento and Gabe are going to be trading those invisible barriers, and it looks like Spitfire finally has unleashed the Kraken Impact and is looking to get the reset. Unfortunately, cannot, as Pictac does take out Goku BR. Felicity takes out Spitfire. Leslie University still can hold this as temporarily, but Pictac and the rest of UAlbany are going to be able to take the point here with about 30 seconds left in the time bank. Very well played from UAlbany, but honestly, Leslie University doing a good job trying to keep it close, because if you remember, Vaudable, Albany took that point 1 in record time.
Oh, quick. Yeah, they didn't have to worry about much. They used the It's Jeff with Pictac, and because they don't have the Doctor Strange because it's banned, they had a tough time really recovering afterwards. We're seeing a little bit of less deaths on the side of Leslie. The more survivability from Goku, Degastao, and Gento, but the rest of their team getting targeted a lot, specifically Zombie. They've been focusing Zombie down because they know how effective Adam Warlock is. And again, you talked about it, that we did see Quenchable go towards the Adam Warlock, but it was actually Spitfire who just sniped them out of the sky mid-ultimate, so they couldn't even pop it off.
Yeah, sometimes you see Adams will just res really, really high in the sky and then pop their ultimate so they aren't in danger, but that ultimately puts their whole team in danger. They spawn on the ground, unfortunately. The best usage for Adam Ultimate typically is on another level if you can go underground or above ground, or you do it behind a wall so you can keep your team safe. Yes, you do get that 70% bonus health on spawn. Realistically, if there's something like a Thor, a Winter Soldier, who has their ultimate ready and waiting for that Adam Ultimate, you can see a multi-kill happen very, very quickly. And UAlbany, specifically Quenchable, has just been terrorizing Leslie University. I'm going to be quite honest, I don't think Leslie has faced a Thor of this caliber.
No, not at all. And I do want to note, too, like our 2 bronze players on the side of UAlbany not playing like bronzes at all. I have never had a bronze that's like Spitfire on my team. Maybe they played Overwatch or another title at some point. Who knows? But do pretty well for themselves and holding their own as best as possible. Maybe they played on a different account before. Who really knows? But either way, UAlbany looking solid here. They just got to hold things down. But also, Leslie University getting to the objective a lot faster than we saw UAlbany. And they're giving so much space and respect to them.
Yeah, this Storm Jeff combo that we do see potentially stacking up for Leslie University could be rough. There's virtually only like 2 counters, 2 real counters to Jeff NATO, one of them being Iron Man, the other one being Punisher. The big thing is you just have to try to one-shot it, right? That's how you deal with it. No support ultimate can actually live it. As we do see Goku, though, not actually waiting for Denkest Owl, is able to take down the Invisible Woman, is going to run straight out to the point, and we see in hilarity, Pictac is chasing him, but Cinders is going to be able to take out Dark Magic and Quenchable. That's actually a pretty solid counter into the Thor here, running those hit scan heroes. Because now we see Pictac looking for a massive eat, has taken 2 members, is going into his own pool, and is looking to take down multiple. One actually ends up going down inside of his stomach, as the other one gets thrown off. Here comes the Meteor M from Zombie. Unfortunately, does not get charged up enough to actually eliminate anybody. It looks like UAlbany have stabilized. Gento does pop that invisible barrier. Marcus has the copied invisible barrier coming in, and all the meanwhile, Quenchable is just waiting and waiting and waiting because he wants to use his ultimate. I don't actually think he's going to be able to use it, though, as he is just 1v3ing this backline.
Wow.
Can someone do something about the Thor?
No, no one can. Not even Felicity on the Emma. There's another one. The quad, I was talking about it. 4 is the magic number here. Sometimes we see the Penta. We did earlier on when they were on the attacking side of things, but they're just going to be pushing them back with that Awakening Rune as best as possible. And this is where Thor is so effective, creating that space and just picking up the final hits onto the other team, especially how much damage they're able to do and deal out. You do see another option here for the Storm. See if they can take out the back line. They do get 2 picks, and there is the Jeff NATO coming through, swallowing up the competition. And look out, everyone's getting taken down. The Penta for their side. Leslie University finally take the objective, but they had to use multiple ultimates for it.
As long as Jeff NATO's up and running, you Albany are going to need to find a solution to it, and it's going to have to be a one-shot. It's going to have to be Punisher. Yeah. It's going to have to be some sort of Iron Man ultimate. Yeah, I mean, Cinders has opted in for it. I think it's really good punishing something like the Thor, no pun intended on that one either. You Albany, though, they do have Quenchable, Spitfire, and Dark Magic with their ultimates available. No support ultimates, but Pictac is building turret. Here comes the final judgment, though, coming out from Cinders. Usually Dark Magic would be able to counter it, but because Leslie have their own Magneto, he gets bubbled and is just running through the rest of you Albany. Leslie University seem to have found their footing. Cinders on Punisher may be the move.
It's crazy that what damage boost does, and it just takes out the rest of the team when they can't do anything against it. You usually, to take down a Punisher, need a Punisher of your own. Yes, Magneto has been that kind of classic counter that we've seen with the bubble, but mainly with the Meteor M. Right now, they're staggered so much. We're going to see a Punisher ult probably again before we see a Meteor M, but they do get taken down. The It's Jeff does come through. It takes out one of the Vanguards and Strategists on their side. They're going to take their time on this and actually go off the map instead, just to try and make it even more delayed for them.
Yeah, I don't mind that. It's a fine elimination. It's a really long walk back for Leslie University, especially because they don't have any Doctor Strange. And Goku doing the tralalilo tralala emote. That's the one thing I appreciate by Marvel Rivals, is that they are very in tune with all the memes and stuff like that. I expect a 6-7 emote coming out very, very soon.
Oh gosh, probably at some point in time. We'll have to see what exactly it'll go down. But Quenchable, God of Thunder comes through. Not really going to get any picks that they were hoping for. So instead, we do see some other ultimates popping up. It's Jeff on the other side for Goku BR, trying to stay alive as best as possible and try to keep the Invisible Woman away from the play, but they heal themselves up. It's the Loki who actually copied the Invisible Woman. They'll be able to escape pretty easily. So not the most effective Jeff ultimate from Goku BR. They're just trying to be keeping them isolated for a little bit of time, but it didn't really last as long as they wanted.
When Goku BR ults as Jeff, it's like a dog that has something in his mouth that he shouldn't have. He's like running away frantically. While Pictac, when he ults, it comes with purpose. He's taking multiple members down. The difference is actually really funny. Both effective in their own rights. Like, realistically, Goku swallowing up one of the members of U Albany does make it a temporary 5v6, especially if the team is there ready to follow up. And with that, U Albany do take it to that second point. Now they have to arguably get it past into that third point. This is the hardest point of the map, by the way. Like, the terrain, the hard chokeholds, as well as Dankus Owl is going to pop the regular Storm ultimate, and you can just counter that with one of the supports. No Jeff NATO available. Surprising, because Goku, it would have their ultimate about 25%, and surely that would just eliminate them, but U Albany flipped the script around, even despite Felicity popping that Psionic Embrace. It's a 4v6 right now, and Spitfire is going to pop the Kraken Impact just to confirm this kill and confirm this fight win.
There's no way this is a bronze 3.
No, I don't. Yeah. Spitfire, you've got some explaining to do, brother.
Probably from console, that's my guess. We've seen a couple of players swap over to PC because they do have those labs at these different colleges. They're used to playing on console instead, so probably a console warrior that swapped over. We don't see them on the rollers, though, so who knows. Either way, though, Quenchable doing everything that they can just to keep everyone contained and away from the objective. Emma is going to choke slam them for a moment, but they do get taken out quickly post-haste. They don't have to worry too much. They do have their ultimate available as well, just to keep some more damage and stun the competition away. And I feel like time ticking down just bodes well for you, Albany, but we'll see if there's any bounce back from Leslie, especially with all those ultimates.
Pictac does have the Jeff Eat available. Now, realistically, Cinders can just pop his ultimate when that happens and take him down. But the fact that the ability to eliminate is so close, you can just take him right off the edge there. It might not be fast enough, especially with Dark Magic having that Meteor M available. This is going to be a very, very interesting ult battle between these two teams. Here comes the Judge Jury Executioner. Dark Magic is going to pop that ultimate. Does get bubbled, though, so Cinders has a relatively free final judgment. And like you said, a push off the edge. You, Albany, are going to go down here. Multiple members will concede this fight. They should have enough time, potentially, to contest this last point, as we have not hit overtime, so the death timers are not that long. But you, Albany, have to make sure that nobody else goes down here for this final contest.
That's why I love Midtown. Usually goes to overtime if you have two very competitive teams against each other, waiting for the Meteor M to come out so they can dodge it as a Jeff. Last moment, but picks up 3 with the E, trying to see if they can stay alive, go off the edge as long as possible. Nobody's going to take them down and get the whole half of the team. But the Kraken impact for Spitfire is massive. 14 seconds. I don't think they're going to get back in time here, Shibby.
Beautiful team fight win from Pictac. I was waiting for it because he didn't pop it in that first fight. So I was like, okay, he should get a massive eat. And I love that the patience that Pictac had, right? Saw the Jeff ultimate, right, being popped, said, you know, I'm going to wait in it, wait for the Meteor M to go down, wait for Punisher to get into his turret, understands that, hey, if anyone is saving their ultimates from Leslie University, it's going to be either the Winter Soldier or the Magneto. That is the MVP for sure, right?
Whoa, no way.
I understand it.
41?
But Pictac is the hero.
Jeff is always the hero in our hearts, is all we got to say. I mean, 33
elims, by the way.
29 assists, too, for the Jeff. 13 final hits. That's great. But yeah, as you mentioned, 41 elims, about half, as you can see, for final hits there as well. This is just a great lineup that we are seeing from you, Albany. We did see some good resistance, though, from Leslie. I got to give them the credit where it's due. They pushed it all the way to its limit. It's just the timing for the ultimates at the end is really what did them in. So close to getting to that overtime. We looked a lot more confident with that composition. I think that's where they were struggling before. They didn't know exactly where to put their 2 Eternity players that are used to playing Vanguard. They tried to flex a little bit with Zombie specifically. She was trying to position herself more as either a duelist or as a strategist, depending on what they needed. Swapping back over to the Vanguard worked out really well for them. So we'll see what they do coming back from the break, because there's some time for them to think and strategize, try and pull off that reverse sweep.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? I've been in the good times already. You can see it on my face. I know. No more racing. We got it. We could reach it. Yeah, we got it. I'm feeling good like that. So what you gonna do? And I can't stop thinking about you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Welcome back, everybody, from the very short break that Vaudable just said here. We are into match number 3, or game number 3, between U Albany Gold and Leslie University. U Albany right now have a 2-0 lead. And Vaudable, I'm not going to curse it because last week we had multiple teams go up 2-0 and reverse sweeps that. We had 2 near reverse sweeps. We had 2 5-game series in our week 1. I do not trust these. I feel like rivals specifically as well. When I see teams go up 2-0, I'm never that comfortable. I feel like the momentum can switch very, very quickly, especially because we played 3 different styles of maps. We just played our first map, which was Control Point, which was like similar to Domination, if you understand that one. And we just got through Convergence, which is our hybrid game mode. Now we're going to go into pure Convoy, which is kind of like Convergence, except it takes out the first part, right? You just have a stock standard cart or convoy, and you have to get it into 3 points. Payload map, however you want to say it. And we are going to go on the most common and arguably favorited payload map of Marvel Rivals. Yggdrasil Path is coming. I have probably played and commentated over thousands of matches on Yggdrasil Path.
It's the best path that there is in the game. That's all you can say about it. But we did some investigating, and we did find out that Spitfire is not a Bronze 3. They are a GM console player, so it makes sense. I mean, that's what we were talking about. Didn't necessarily see them on the rollers, but we did see them fragging out like crazy. So makes sense how they were performing so well on their side. We do have to shout out our sponsors too, Wenzel's Farm, by Blue Light, and Extron as well for making this all a possibility. Thank you to our sponsors. Without them, we could not operate this league. And also without the teams that we are featuring here as well. Banning the Thor immediately is the best decision Leslie University has ever made.
Yeah, that took 2 games too much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was doing my cursory research. I could have told you that Quenchable's most played hero is Thor. Like I could have just been like, all right, here you go. Look at their rivals trackers here. But that does still open up the Jeff, which is also not bad on this map at all. Pretty much every single point up until the 3rd point, you have an ability or a way to take them off the map. Even then, even if you can't take them off the map, as long as your team is paying attention, they'll know, hey, I'm going to run back. Yeah. Like, it has to be Jeff here, right, Leslie? No!
Why would... I don't know. I mean, hey, they banned the Thor. They thought that was the biggest issue. I don't think they realized how effective the Jeff was as well. Maybe, as you mentioned, not as much on this map, but there's still so many spots that you can go with Jeff as well. Luna Snow did get banned at first every time by Leslie, and you do notice on U Albany that they saved them immediately afterwards. So they're feeling pretty confident on the Luna Snow. See what they can do. The Captain America save this time. We did see that banned in the first map from U Albany at the tail end of it as well. So I mean, if I am U Albany, maybe save the Jeff, maybe save another support on their side. Cloak and Dagger could be it, but the Bucky instead, because Spitfire's feeling confident on it, it makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. And this final ban pretty much could be anything here. I think if you're U Albany, you're going to ban away maybe something like the Punisher.
I was about to say Punisher, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, because like realistically, we did see Cinders pop off on that Punisher. Was one of the big reasons as to why they were winning. And Leslie kind of played their hand a little bit when they banned that Magneto. They could have saved it for that final ban. They are going to ban the Jeff here. So U Albany and Leslie are going to have to play a pretty new set of heroes, especially with, mind you, 3 tanks banned out. Strange, Magneto, Thor. Like, it's Emma and Cap are available, and then you've got stuff like Thing and Hulk. Venom, yeah, like, I mean, I like Venom. I think it's one of the better tanks in the game, but I think it's very hard for a lot of these teams at these lower levels to coordinate the Venom dive with something like a Psylocke or a Black Panther. We see at the highest level how devastating that is. Unfortunately, Vaudable, I think everyone is going to have to become a Venom player in Season 4.5.
I think so as well. I mean, there's so many different changes that are coming through. We'll probably talk about that on the next week that we'll be back on, but either way, it's going to be Keg and also CB picking things up next week when it's after the patch, so that's gonna be great to see their thoughts on things as well. Yeah, there's gonna be some insanity going on there. Zombie though swapping over to the Star-Lord this time. As I mentioned before, like, I feel like Zombie's, she's been trying to find her pace and place on this roster, carry as best they can either on the Vanguard or on the support. We did see them flex over to the Duelist as well, just because, again, if you're an attorney level player, you can probably play whatever you want against some of these teams. But now on the Star-Lord, probably just for a little bit of dive on their side of things, just to bob and weave in and out and see if they can just poke the other team, build up that ultimate for the galactic superpowers that they can provide their team and see what they can do with it.
Yeah, and Dankest, Cap is their most played Vanguard. Actually, their most played heroes of all time for themselves is going to be Iron Man, Captain America, and Ultron, right? So they've got a pretty interesting hero pool to say, but Spitfire already has taken down one member. Dankest does go down, but unfortunately, Cloud, she goes down on the crew. This is a Vanguard I've kind of forgotten about, not because I don't think it's good, but because Strange, Mag, Emma, like Venom, they're all much better, but when you remove some of those tanks, Groot kind of rises in popularity, especially because Punisher's banned out as well.
Yeah, Groot's really good as well with Moon Knight. Having that Strangling Prison with the Hand of Khonshu combination is just tier 1. And I also like this deployable momentum that you can get with Moon Knight. They've got buffed a little bit in the recent patches, so they are feeling a little bit more confident, and we've seen a lot more of them in these levels of competition. So we'll see them try to deal with Zombie as best as possible, get them away from the objective, and just zone them out with their onks as best as possible. And that's what we're seeing here. Zombie having to push away and can't really flank as much as they were wanting to.
Yeah, Moon Knight's just two different styles you can play, the brawl style or that flank style, as Cinders does come in with this Winter Soldier who has not found as much success as Spitfire previously. Marcus is going to pop the Luna Snow ultimate. They're going to be able to walk in. Goku is 2% away, but goes down to the Moon Knight ultimate that was damage boosted specifically. So you, Albany, definitely have practiced this combination before.
Yep.
Multiple members go down for Leslie University, and Vaudable, unfortunately, no Doctor Strange available, so this first point is going to go all the way over to you, Albany.
I wish more teams utilized the Doctor Strange ban because of how effective the portals are. If you know that you're confident to win those team fights, then you don't have to worry about too much, especially when you're on the attacking side of things. It does not bode well on the other side, but as you mentioned, the contest coming through here, we do see the ultimates coming through. The Neo did not last long at all there from the Emma as they got roped out of it instead, so their ultimate not really going off as much as they were wanting. But Armed and Dangerous, cracking impact instead. There's one KO, looking for the second under the Luna Snow, gets it, and see if they can get some more, but they don't really need to. Their team cleans things up. A triple here for Spitfire. Feeling confident is the name of the game for you, Albany Gold.
And there's multiple combinations that they have with this Groot ultimate, right? It's not just the Hand of Khonshu. Completely forgot that Spitfire, yeah, you can just actually throw your Kraken Impact onto multiple members when they get hit with that Strangling Prison. Very, very well played from you, Albany. And the crazy thing is, they're running solo tank Groot. This is a 3 support composition with solo tank Groot. Normally this stuff doesn't work because you can damage overload the Groot, who does not have any natural barriers or shields. Yes, you can throw up the walls, and that's nice, but most of the time teams are willing to take it out. But Quenchable, on that flank knight specifically, does take out Zombie. Cinders actually does end up taking out the solo Groot here, but Dark Magic is going to pop that Karmic Retribution more for tempo, and I love this Hand of Khonshu again. Massive, massive, massive kills coming out from Quenchable here. You take my Thor, it doesn't matter. I've got a pocket Moon Knight ready to go.
Honestly, I feel like the Moon Knight's being a little bit more effective in getting those eliminations initially. I mean, nobody's really been able to contest Quenchable so far. I'm really interested to see the stats once the first half is done, but seeing the way that they are able to just decimate the backline, get rid of the competition, and Degasau couldn't even do anything about it.
And the lack of barriers is what's really big here. Nice ultimate coming out from Felicity, though, to stop this push completely. Fun fact, and you know, I'll give you a gold star if you can guess, without cheating, what is Spitfire's Quenchable's third most played hero after Thor and Moon Knight?
Quenchable's third most played hero, is it Iron Man?
Nope, it's Spider-Man. So, like, I'm scared. I'm scared if this goes to, like, a Game 4 or Game 5 and they end up double banning him. What kind of a menace could Quenchable be as a nice kidnap coming out from Cinders there? Zombie's going to pop the Galactic Legend. Unfortunately, unable to get anything here. And that was just pure patty cake from you, Albany. Very, very well played. Extermination gets popped on top of the Kraken Impact. And that's going to end up multiple kills in the favor of you, Albany. So Leslie's short-lived, let's say, stall isn't going to be that much longer, as unfortunately Wolverine does go down as well.
They still get the reset.
Yeah, I know. This is scary. They've got to go to your other spawn. Don't walk out that. Do not walk out that door. Okay, or walk out the door. I don't care. Actually, Spitfire is on the controller. Wait.
Yeah, okay. We just missed it. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's hard to see when they were swapping so quickly between perspective, especially with the Kraken impact going off. I mean, hey, we like to see the flashing colors as much as we can. So either way, though, Spitfire doing as well as they can for their team. I'm glad Zombie swapped off. I was about to make a comment about that, as they haven't been effective at all on the... Well, there we go. Now they're effective here on the Moon Knight. But yeah, Star-Lord not as effective. Moon Knight, Ditto, I think works really well, especially on the defensive side.
Especially into triple support, right? Moon Knight has kind of been one of those common answers because A, you can farm your ultimate up very quickly, and you can damage overload something like a Luna Snow or even an Adam Warlock if you can find where they're rezzing here. Goku is going to pop that Luna Snow ultimate in response to Marcus's. Luckily, it's only 10 seconds of invulnerability, like you mentioned, Vaudeville, instead of 12, so I don't have to have my pillow out. I just take a power nap.
Don't have to worry for too long of a delay to get onto the objective. The Wolverine kidnaps have been tier 1 from Cinders. I'm liking this change up from them as well. Also using their ultimate to try and take out Quenchable, but they still could not get the finishing touch on them. Instead, they did manage to take out the tank, which was huge. Only had one of them backing them up, reminder. So it is solo tank versus solo tank. Kind of some mirror comps coming in here based on what we've seen, but we do have Denkasal still actually on the Emma, trying to do what they can for Leslie University. This is the best hold we've seen in a while, though, from their team. Not as effective for you, Albany, to push through this hallway, and now we do have the Hand of Conchu available for Quenchable. I'm really curious exactly where the timing is going to be for that.
Oh, he's been absolutely money on these here, and timing that with the Onk, though. Nice kidnap coming out once again from Cinders, who has had multiple opportunities just to go and kidnap. You can go around so many different corners on this part of the map specifically. Cinders picks up Cloud. That solo tank Groot might end up biting you, Albany, in the butt here, because Wolverine is arguably Groot's biggest counter next to Punisher.
Yeah, it's been a tough job for Cloud is Loud to really do anything about this team, so we'll see what they can do against their squad as best as possible against Leslie University, but I don't think they're going to immediately swap off. It was working out so well for them so far, and it's really hard for a lot of players to be as aggressive afterwards, but missed the ultimate, still got the Elim onto the Luna Snow, not as effective as they were wanting to, and the choke slam afterwards, so Cloud is not getting taken out. You also see Spitfire going down. There's the two main frontliners that are taken out so quickly from you, Albany. I think this is where they stop their advancement here on Convoy. This is a good look from Leslie.
As we say that, though, Quenchable is just ripping through these two tanks. Another beautiful kidnap coming out from Cinders, though. Quenchable goes down. Zombie's able to pick him up. 10 seconds left. Somebody's got to contest. You have ultimates on you, Albany's side here. Pick-tack. We've got to see where they're going to go, as Quenchable is coming back from spawn, though. Love to see the fight. Gankist Owl almost has that psionic embrace available. Beautiful ultimate from Felicity to combo that with Zombie's owned Hand of Conchu. Whatever you can do, I can do better. Leslie University take a page out of you Albany's book and says, you know what? I like that combo. Let me see how you guys like to feel on the receiving end of the Hand of Conchu. You Albany do get stopped right around that 2.5 point there. Very winnable for Leslie University, by the way.
Oh, yeah. This is the best look we have seen from Leslie University all day. They kind of struggled to figure out exactly what composition they needed and sometimes pick the right one just a little bit too late, like we saw on Convergence in Midtown, or Central Park, excuse me. So now seeing the way that Zombies really come alive. I mean, 7 final hits to their name, the most eliminations we've seen at the first half for them in quite some time, and even Gento getting involved too. Keeping their team alive, but also putting those Terror Cloaks onto the other squad to get that extra damage against them. I'm liking this look from Leslie University. My biggest questions are, what is the adaptation going to be from you, Albany? Can they hold them back? And look at Pick-tack. There's the Venom we were talking about before.
Venom coming in for Pick-tack. Mind you, this was the Jeff player for you Albany Gold. Like, they're just going to swap over here, and I like it. I like the flexibility. Pick-tack as well has been playing a lot of Venom, one of their most played heroes. Strange, Jeff, and Venom are their top 3. And on top of that, it goes Thing, Cloak, and Mag. So they are a
strange combo.
No pun intended? Or was that,
no pun intended.
No, I mean, they're a Vanguard strategist flex. I get they're not the most typical Vanguard strategist, other than that Strange here, but hey, I'll take a flex player when I can get it, especially when they can flex to Vanguard and strategist, arguably the 2 least popular roles.
Yeah.
True team player Pick-Tack, though, might have a rough time. Cinders unable to actually get anybody here, but just kind of using that Wolverine. Is going to have to swap to a more Peel-centric style with Pick-Tack on that Venom, constantly harassing Leslie University's backline. Cinders is going to have to change up their play a little bit, and the Pick-Tack already comes in with 2 kills. Another underrated combo, Vaudable. Moon Knight Venom is actually pretty disgusting because you can get a double slam in as well as the Onk, and what happens is it keeps everybody in place with all the bouncing, ricocheting primary attacks coming out from the Moon Knight. So it is super underrated, and I think Pick-Tack and Quenchable have been practicing this.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing here. You see the Onk go down afterwards too, so this is some good damage being put in. Pick-Tack, great looks from them as well, but had to back off because the Groot Walls are keeping them away from the lines of sight, which bodes well for Leslie University. They can actually force them back a little bit further. They've actually been able to get control of the cart for the most part. Hand of Khonshu does take out Marcus, so their support line not going to be there to keep them alive as long as they would like, and they are getting separated from their team. Leslie University dissecting the front line of UAlbany. They're having to get pushed back to the brink of this first checkpoint.
And with the lack of wall break coming in, does UAlbany actually swap over to Squirrel Girl potentially just to be able to deal with Felicity? The breaking of line of sight is oh so crucial, especially because Pick-Tack on this dive hero needs to be in vision of their support, specifically Goku, so they can actually get healing, right? That E shield, very, very nice, don't get me wrong, but it only lasts so little if Dankestal is able to grab them up and CC them. We do see a potential contest coming out from UAlbany. 6 ultimates in their back pocket. They've got to use something as we do see an ult vomit coming out from UAlbany. Moon Knight pops their ultimate. Hand of Khonshu. Both support ultimates coming out from from UAlbany here. Multiple as Leslie University, specifically Cinders, pops the ultimate, and Zombie picks up 5 on the back end. It doesn't matter if UAlbany double pop the support ultimates. The damage boosted Moon Knight ultimate will rip through you.
Massive from Zombie. They were patiently waiting for all the ultimates to be popped as well. If you notice, they had plenty of time to put theirs on as well, especially with the Invisible Woman ultimate kind of hiding some of the effects of it if they wanted to use it that way. But no, instead they were waiting for their time to strike and noticed that everyone was grouped up from UAlbany. They could not escape whatsoever, and they were just sitting ducks. It was like fish in a barrel for the Hands of Khonshu from Zombie that time. Again, this seems to be the most effective hero we have seen from Zombie so far. They've been putting in the work, and we need to see a little bit more of that for them to take this map and keep this series going.
Yeah, we haven't seen those highlight moments from Spitfire just yet. As I say that, though, Kraken Impact does get used. Another reset. And unfortunately, the rest of Leslie University do have to back out here, minimizing the amount of resets Spitfire can get. But that is some crucial time being eaten off the clock. Cinders has swapped off the Wolverine, has swapped over to the Winter Soldier. Another counter to Groot. But surprisingly enough, I have not seen these Groots pulled in at all.
No, not really. I mean, we've seen it happen a couple of times, but I feel like the Buckies haven't felt as confident as they could be on their hooks. They've been backing off, feeling the pressure from the other team. The healing's been so focused on the Groot that they haven't been confident about staying alive. Quenchable, though, able to combo their ultimate with the Strangling Prison, getting free to their name, pushing back the rest of the team, a quad as well. Good look from Quenchable this time, but again, it feels like a little bit of a band-aid instead of a solution for UAlbany to take down Leslie here.
And mind you, Leslie have the Strangling Hand of Khonshu combo right now. Like, we're going to see the exact same thing happen to UAlbany Gold right now if they're going to stay grouped up on this map. They need to be aware of what's going to happen, and it looks like Felicity's looking for an opening. Psionic Embrace does get popped by Dankestal to potentially... Yeah, here comes the Strangling Prison. Hand of Khonshu gets dropped immediately. And how many members does this one take down? Leslie University nearly wipe everybody here, but Pick-Tack does take down Goku BR in the back here. Pop that ultimate. They might be able to stall for a little bit. That crucial time is going to be needed, especially because even if Venom does go down, Pick-Tack will have that rollout available. Actually ends up taking down Felicity. Wait a minute. There's no way that Pick-Tack and Marcus are 2v5ing. That was a lot of time eaten off the clock. UAlbany have 4 members ready, potentially, to re-engage.
crucial timing. Pictac also just able to get back involved. But Felicity here, we do have them on the newest hero. I'm very excited to see if they can really skewer someone off the map. There's not really the greatest of places here. I'm curious how effective they're going to be.
Yeah, I think mostly it's going to be that displacement, right? Time to get that Groot out underneath their team in here. And we see Armed and Dangerous coming in from Spitfire. Kraken Impact is not going to be effective. Unfortunately, no resets. Dark Magic is going to pop the Invisible Barrier to match Goku's Luna Snow ultimate. Felicity at 51% does not have the game-changing. And there's the skewer, though. Multiple members. Cinders combos it up. That's LeBron Wade, D. Wade level of the assist. Very good alley-oop. Pictac does pick up a kill once again onto Goku BR, but I don't think he's going to live for much longer. Very well played. The scoop into Kraken Impact, that's a first for me.
I like to see it. We'll see if there's any more kind of combos coming through here. Felicity playing on the Angela, a little unorthodox, but again, if you bring people down to the ground and use your axes of Icarus as best as possible, there's a couple different options that you can just really deal some good damage while keeping people stuck in a single spot. And you could technically combo their ultimate of the Heaven's Retribution with the Hand of Khonshu.
Yes.
Because again, you do keep people restrained at least for a little bit. So that might be something that they're looking out for. They almost have their ultimate available to them. They get back to the ground and at least take out one, almost build it up fully, but they are barely alive. They could have taken them down, but they didn't focus on the Angela enough.
It's kind of tough, obviously, this being the newest hero. How much practice do you have playing against this? And yeah, Felicity, you know, I was going through their match history. I was actually going through, not Felicity's. There we go. Here comes Heaven's Retribution, though. Hand of Khonshu going to get dropped right on top. Like you mentioned, Vaudable, good call out. It's pretty much a Groot ultimate, but this time it's from a flying tank. And Felicity playing the Disruptor and Brawler. I love them on this Angela pick right now. They are 3.99 meters away from making this a 1-2 match score. Albany, rollout gets messed up and Venom gets taken down. Cinders pops the Kraken Impact. Dark Magic goes down. Oh, wait a minute. Leslie University are not going to go quietly into the night. They are going to try to attempt a reverse sweep, starting with that one win here. We're going on to map 4 between these two teams, Vaudable, with a clutch pick from Felicity and Zombie.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, picking up that Moon Knight and saying, you know what? Yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to see. It was multiple pentakills here, 40 elims, 20 final hits here. Not to be outdone, though, on the side of Albany, Pictac, Quenchable, and Spitfire, all kind of putting in, respectively, the work they need to. But I just think that ultimate economy usage from Leslie University came out on top. And Felicity, 37-9. Yeah, sure, the final hits aren't that flashy, but the fact that he was pretty much involved in every single massive multi-elim, whether it was with the Angela or the Groot, sets up Zombie for success there. Very well played from Leslie University. We don't get a 3-0 here, Vaudable. I was almost half expecting it.
You can't ever expect it with Marvel Rivals here, Shibby. I mean, anything can happen in these maps, especially after you have a break. You talk to your coach or analyst or whoever you have. Maybe it's just your captain or the two Eternity players on the side of things. Zombie, she did some great work, though, for this team, especially figuring out, hey, Star-Lord's not working at all. We see how effective Quenchable is being on the Moon Knight. Let me just do the same thing, swap over to the Groot on our side and see how that goes. And then realize, hey, Groot not being as effective towards the end. Swap again. We see the Angela coming out just to be a bit of a displacer, using that Assassin's Charge, and then also just using their ultimate to combo that with the Moon Knight Hand of Khonshu. Love to see it. So many different ingenuity plays that can come out from these teams, but Leslie University, I think that adaptability and flexibility, as we were talking about, did play a big part for their victory here because they were able to swap heroes a bit more fluidly. They weren't as set in stone with the composition. They knew that, hey, we have a couple different options. Let's go for those, see if it works, because what's working right now? Well, it's actually not working. We got to change things up, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I love that. Like you said, Marvel Rivals, with its massive roster and always increasing as they do have that one hero a month schedule, you kind of can't just focus on the heroes that you like. Like, sure, you can one trick and you can be a specialist, but season to season, patch to patch, meta to meta, there are going to be different stuff that you need to be picking up. And Moon Knight, with that small Moonblade buff, the fact that he has 2 charges now, actually just massively increases the DPS output, especially if you can get that flank knight going, which we saw Quenchable and Zombie do, right? You can throw the Onk down, you can get the primary into Moonblade, into primary Moonblade, and that typically one-shots a squishy backline, especially because the prevalence of 3 support, being able to build that ultimate up very quickly and essentially damage overloading something like a Luna Snow, an Invisible Woman, a Cloak and Dagger. You can do a lot of damage. You saw the damage boosted Moon Knight ultimates coming in. You also saw the combos that came with the Groot, with the Angela. Like, I'm going to assume that's going to continue for Leslie. Why try to fix something if it isn't broken? We'll see if UAlbany actually ends up adapting, as we do go to one of my favorite control point maps. We go from one of my most hated, Hydra Charteris, to Burnin' T'Challa. I love this map. Very, very dynamic. A lot of different comps you can play depending on which map you roll. So I'm really excited to see what these two teams bring out. We have yet to see any true flyers. No Iron Man, no Human Torch. We saw a little bit of Storm. Yeah, Black Panther's going to be permanent.
And of course, it's going to be Thor. That's going to be perma-banned as well. They know how effective the Thor was last time. I mean, Quenchable still looked pretty good on the Moon Knight, but they proved that, hey, Zombie's just better on the Moon Knight that time. So I don't think we necessarily see that composition again. Cloud is loud. I'm curious if they'll be subbed out or not, because we saw the group be their main hero that they've played this season and in other seasons as well. But now we have both Vanguards of the Emma and the Magneto here on their side. So there's going to be some craziness going on with those combinations with that Vanguard line. And I think Leslie University, it benefits them a little bit more from what we saw. They were a bit more confident with those two specifics. But actually, you see UAlbany banning out the group because they saw how effective on the other side of things, Denkus Owl and Felicity specifically, were on their Vanguard side. So instead of prioritizing the strategists and support bands, it's more Vanguard focused this go around. And Jeff, they just know that Pick-Tack is so good on the Jeff, they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I would argue UAlbany and Leslie's strongest roles are Vanguards individually, right? It's just unfortunate that UAlbany have to face a quote-unquote eternity back or a front line here, but they've been holding their own very, very well. The Moon Knight being saved indicates to me that they do want to end up opting in for that Angela. Now, the big thing is...
I was thinking that.
Yeah, Leslie have played their hand here by saving the Moon Knight. UAlbany just need to go in and ban the Angela. I think they're going to save something like the Luna Snow here because I feel like Leslie, that's the appropriate ban. We haven't seen a lot of Rocket. Instead, they're going to opt in for the Invisible Woman. I don't hate that, especially if you're opting in for something like a Human Torch combination. Like the amount of team-ups that Invisible Woman can give to the rest of...
actually.
Nope, not at all. I don't think any of these duelists actually end up playing Human Torch that much, so that could be one of those things. As Doctor Strange is going to get banned out. 3 Vanguards banned, 2 saved. I don't mind it, but UAlbany, surely you have to be prepared to face off against this Angela. Maybe the Invisible Woman save indicates that somebody on UAlbany is going to be playing Thing. And we talked about Leslie banning that Luna Snow. That's going to be the most high-value ban because the support line for UAlbany, both of their supports, I think all 3, have a decent amount of Luna Snow on their belts.
I'm curious if we see any Punisher from the side of UAlbany. I know it hasn't been banned this time, so Leslie could easily pull out a Punisher. I mean, it looked really good on how Cinders was playing them specifically. But again, the Buckies have been doing pretty well for the most part, so a couple of different things that they can go for there. But Spitfire actually potentially going for the Namor. We haven't seen one of those in a while without the team up specifically, so curious what their strategy is going to be there. But they felt so good on the Bucky. Quenchable's like, hey, give me the Bucky, I can frag out. And we've seen them frag out in general, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them do a little bit better.
So the thing is, Cloud, who's not in actually, Dark Magic is going to be...
I talked about it, yeah, they're going to be swapping them out likely, because mainly group player.
Yeah, does play Hulk, so I'm interested to see, yeah, Spitfire on this Namor pretty much is a team up merchant, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how I view
Namor.
Without the team up, they're kind of useless, and in season 4.5, they're going to be absolutely bonkers potentially with that Hela team up. But you kind of need Hulk here, and with Cloud out, she is the primary Hulk player for this team. We'll see how effective this solo Namor is. Maybe he will make me eat my words, and that's a bee-hopping Venom. Nice Pick-Tack. That guy goes in the lab. That's a real Venom player, by the way.
That's how you know they're authentic. But I'm really curious how Felicity is going to be operating, especially on this point for T'Challa. I mean, there's a couple different options you can go for. I think Felicity is going to be a sitting duck in that main atrium, so we'll see how effective they are there. The Venom just kind of focusing on them to zone them away from the objective. Also using the hook from Quenchable, that's also massive to try and get Felicity out of the sky, and they got taken out so quickly.
Yeah, they got hooked, and then they got hit with the voltaic charge, which actually grounds them just for a little bit. But Felicity's going to come back to this point much faster than Dark Magic is. Nice pull, though, coming out from Quenchable, saying Spitfire's not even the best Winter Soldier on this team. This Namor, though, struggling a little bit, did end up securing that kill onto Felicity, but we do see UAlbany struggling to actually take control of this point. They do have that man advantage as of right now, and Spitfire almost goes down. Somebody's got to put this dankest owl Emma in check, because she is just walking forward with impunity.
Doing pretty good for their team. Felicity being focused so much by the other squad. I think that's why they went for the Namor, so that they could try and at least use the squids or the Mantra spawn to take them out as best as possible. Quenchable, you focusing on it with those grabs with the hook. But again, see how effective this is going to be for Spitfire with the whale. I wonder what the timing's going to be for that. You do see Eternal Bond come through onto the objective just to keep some extra sustainability for their side. Also the Invisible Boundary from Angab, doing everything that they can for the team. Cracking impact though for Quenchable, and they get exiled immediately. They can't do anything about it. The Hulk on the other side, they do manage to get one, looking for the second re-up, but no, they go down so quickly. They can't stay alive to save themselves.
And Felicity and Zombie swapping over to what I arguably think is one of the strongest team-ups in the game, Gamma, coming in for Leslie University. Now, even though there's no like real dive threats, I'm going to say Pig Tac, solo dive tank. I would never just swap to Gamma for one solo Venom, but I guess Pig Tac is causing that much of an issue. But Gamma just increases the DPS output for Namor by essentially doubling it. It's so disgusting. You almost always will have two squids uptime, whether it's the two regular squids or it's one Gamma, one regular. We'll be interested to see how Felicity navigates this Hulk. Like we said, they are an Eternity player, so they do probably have some competency on most of the heroes, but Felicity doesn't play a lot of Hulk, from my knowledge at least.
Yeah, I think it's just more of like an answer to the other teams. Like, hey, we can do that as well. The Angela's not working too well, so let's change things up a little bit here. Cracking impact, though, from Cinders comes through. Massive. There's the re-up as well for the double. Trying to see if they can get the Hulk from behind. Does not get the touch. Not the Hulk, excuse me. The strategist from behind on the other side. Marcus does manage to escape. And right now, at Leslie University, every time we see like someone start doing decent on a duelist, Zombie just swaps over. She's like, I can play this better than you, and just kind of ego challenges them.
Yeah, rightfully so. We'll see if Zombie can have more effectiveness on this Namor. Obviously, it has the Gamma, so it's going to be just infinitely more effective on that. Felicity, though, takes down Gabe in the backside. You're missing a strategist. UAlbany are still trying to push this into a 5v6. Dankest Owl does go down. Invisible Barrier does come up, but two members have been eliminated from Leslie University. It's a 5v6. The whale comes out from Zombie onto two members. Quenchable and Dark Magic go down, but Pig Tac says, let me respond right back. Spitfire takes down one more, and UAlbany and Leslie University trading multi-kill for multi-kill. And unfortunately, UAlbany do take control back of that point. Not without Leslie University picking up 50%, though.
Yeah, it took them a long time to get to the objective again. So UAlbany not as confident as they could have been. And you mentioned it, they weren't on the objective at all. We've seen so many people so focused on trying to take out the other team. As you mentioned, the monster is unleashed here from Felicity, getting rid of the back lane, exiling them for a second to delay them from the objective. And UAlbany, yes, they are taking some percentage, but it's going to be quickly captured if we get one person off the objective for Leslie University to build some more percentage, almost. But UAlbany doing their best to hold on.
Ooh, nice ultimate from Quenchable to take down the ulting Gento here on that Eternal Bond. Very well played. Quenchable has just been showing massive hero flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Thor, we saw them now on the Winter Soldier. They were playing the Moon Knight. Like, this guy has been absolutely unbelievable, just being one of the primary carries for UAlbany Gold. Honestly, clutch as well, taking down Gento, who was mid-Eternal Bond, able to hit that double headshot onto them, instantly taking them down, and that's going to give them 0.1 here. UAlbany looking very good here, Vaudable.
Domination seems to be their game mode. They did really well to the namesake of the game mode itself, dominating the other team in that first go of it. We didn't really see much resistance from Leslie, but a lot closer this go around than we did before. As he mentioned, this is the closest we have seen a halftime report ever be for these two teams. So anything can happen. Mark is actually the only one who has not gone down so far. So maybe needs to be a bit more of a focus from Leslie. That backline's been staying a bit more resilient than they are used to, and it's been a big struggle for them. And looking on the other side, 3 duelists, 1 strategist, 2 vanguards. I don't know if that's necessarily the strategy, or maybe they're just messing around. Yeah, Gento swapping back. We'll see what they can do here.
Gento is going to be swapping back here, but Spitfire, the MVP right now for UAlbany. We talked about them, how effective they'll be with no Gamma team up. Just quickly shut my mouth up. Most final hits right now, tons of damage as well. Those whales have been landing and confirming kills. What I like what Albany's been doing is they've been comboing the Namor ultimate with the Winter Soldier ultimate, because essentially Namor ultimate grounds you. You have to walk out of it. And by the time that happens, you get hit with the whale, takes you down to multiple percentage, and then Quenchable is able to finish you off. But this first team fight, Pictac just absolutely rolling through Leslie University. Very, very lethal on this Venom. Is their second most played hero, right?
Not too surprised. And just staggering Felicity as long as they can. Oh, this is so mean. Taking their time with it, eventually taking it down. Quenchable gets the credit with it instead, just to build up some of that more ult charge for their side of things. But Pictac, we saw the Jeff get banned out. We're like, what do they have in store? Well, the Pocket Venom has been working almost even better and more effective for them. Great snipe there from Quenchable, taking out Gento, the back line, and not surviving as long as they would like to, and pushing into the spawn room. Zombie goes down too, and nobody has been able to stop Quenchable for some time here on the Bucky.
And the Strange ban has been so crucial for you, Albany,
has.
right? Because this doesn't work. If Strange is in the game, he can just keep walking up, flashing his shield, essentially shield hopping with it, getting his team to safety. But the fact that you only have, and I say only, Emma and Magneto, their shields are on a limit, right? Emma's shield is not as sturdy, and obviously Magneto is on a time crunch. So the fact that you can just kind of wait those out or break it, Quenchable finds so much value here. Nice pull. Psionic Embrace does come out from Dankest Owl here. Hopefully Cinders can potentially find a reset. Unfortunately, though, UAlbany does pop the invisible barrier, so Leslie University don't have much to go in the wake of confirming these kills. Nice Armed and Dangerous, though, coming out from Cinders, using the Zombie plus Cinders combo, the Winter Soldier ultimate and Namor ultimate. Big, big kills. But it looks like UAlbany aren't done. They are trading kills back. Zombie does pick up Spitfire, and it looks like Cinders has finally found their footing. Flipping the point here, but not without paying 86% in price. UAlbany need maybe 1 team fight win and they secure it. The lack of Strange is going to be their downfall if they lose this next fight.
A spot to find themselves in for UAlbany, but again, they have so much percentage on their side and so much to be made up by Leslie. I don't know if this is the best spot for them to challenge onto the objective, but trying to build up that ult charge for the rest of their team. Pictac waiting for their time to use the Fear of the Abyss to maybe combo everyone on the objective away from the embrace of their strategists as long as they can. That might be a good look for them, but Felicity, it does come out. Extermination is on lock. The best skin in the game for Ultron, I gotta say, but not effective whatsoever. Just kind of pushing people away from the objective a little bit. Pictac does get onto it, and they're actually sectioned off from their team, so it's going to be pretty easy for them to keep them away, at least for now. They do get some re-ups on their shield, but even then, Felicity trying to just keep involved in this fight, keep them away from the objective, and the percentage is building up. We haven't seen a single answer, really, from Leslie.
Yeah, it looks like UAlbany. Marcus does pop that Eternal Bond here. Quenchable finally has found Felicity. Says, you got to stop flying around and being an annoying nuisance. Getting out the mosquito repellent. Unfortunately, Pictac does take down multiple members from Leslie. Dankest Owl does take back Quenchable. Pictac, though, has been absolutely lethal on this Venom. Spitfire taking out Goku BR. Multiple supports go down. Leslie University looks like they're going to lose this fight. And actually, they're going to lose the point here. UAlbany have been climbing in percentage, like you mentioned, and Leslie have not been able to respond. This is it. UAlbany take the series 3-1.
What a victory by UAlbany. Leslie University put up a valiant fight back in that third map, but it was UAlbany all the way on domination. That just is a nice cherry on top for their victory here. Going 3-0 on the season. They've 3-0'd the rest of the competition. This was the first time they dropped the map, so big ups to Leslie University. They did UAlbany have a forfeit win to start, so this is technically their second series that they have played, but they played it in style. We looked really good across the board, and I'm just hoping for more from this team. Very potential for the squad to make it to the playoffs for their specific Division 5 side of things. But Leslie University, they have some good looks. They just have a couple things to work on, especially when it comes to that synergy and composition. When they find a good composition, they're unstoppable. When they can't, they don't really have an answer. And that's kind of what we saw happen here when they tried to swap over to the Namor themselves. It didn't really work out, and they should have swapped a little bit sooner to something else.
Yeah, it feels like for Leslie, a lot of that onus in like swapping and figuring out the compositions comes down to both Felicity and Zombie, obviously the two best players on their team. And what happens is obviously you get punished when you swap around heroes so frequently. Your ultimate charge only up to 50% carries over. So when you keep doing that, when you keep trying to find these answers and frantically swapping over, sometimes you lose that ultimate economy battle. And it really felt like UAlbany were just on top of it, right? They didn't really need to swap unless they absolutely wanted to. And when you have players on Leslie University's team who, you know, 4 flex players is nice, but I think realistically, you've got to kind of hone in on 1, maybe 2 roles max and really figure out what your place is within this team and what you're going to swap to. I think if Leslie University can kind of hone in on those roles and not have 4 flex players in my mind and have dedicated strategists, dedicated duelists, whoever that is, maybe that's Zombie, maybe that's Felicity, and really kind of understand what comps they can run, I think, like you said, they'll be unstoppable. But right now, it still kind of feels like they're finding their footing. It does kind of feel like Felicity and Zombie are still trying to like kind of carry the lion's share of that workload. And I think once they figure that out, once they can evenly distribute some of that stuff, it looks a lot better. UAlbany, though, coming in, massive respect, right? It is daunting to look at the enemy team. I'm sure they knew that there was Eternity players on the enemy team, not caring, playing their own game, coming in with the right combos, whether it was the Groot Moon Knight, whether it was Pick Tack on the Jeff or the Venom, Quenchable on the Thor, drawing 2 bands, right? Like, it was absolutely masterful from UAlbany. And like you said, I'm excited to see what more they can do as we head into these next weeks. But, Vaudable, with that being said, UAlbany take the series 3-1, and we are going to go for a bit of an extended break as we head into our next series. Before that, though, I do need to shout out Wendell's Meat Sticks because I love the fact that I'm
Wenzel's.
Wenzel's meat. Sorry, sponsors. Sorry. I'll be getting some meat sticks very, very soon, as well as Bye Bye Blue Light and Extron. I actually have a pair of Bye Bye Blue Light glasses in the back over there. I used it because I do a lot of near work, both with casting and my regular job. And I'm up in the late hours looking at my computer, and the blue light blockers really help. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors, but don't go anywhere. We will be right back for our next series between MSU Maroon and Marist Red. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very soon.
Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself.
Colder when you're frozen over like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder when I'm older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder when you're frozen over like I am.
before. Falling faster, I try to ignore. I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end. This is not what I came here to find. Memories show that I'm out of time. See a shadow, don't know if it's mine, but I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you, I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, from our extended break here for Series 2 of the NECC Marvel Rivals Tournament. We're in Week 3. I'm still Shibby. That's still Vaudable. And we've got MSU Maroon versus Marist Red. Vaudable, these two teams, I would argue, are very evenly matched. A couple of Celestial players for MSU Maroon, their lowest ranked player being GM3, actually, which is a little daunting. But Marist Red definitely have some hitters. A lot of these guys, Grandmaster 1, Grandmaster 2. I'm very excited to see how these two teams face off. I'm expecting a 5-game series, Vaudable, but now, just because I said that, we might just get a 3-0.
I wouldn't be too shocked if we see a 3-0. The main thing that is the contributing factor, looking at the current ranks for these players. Peak ranks for Marist Red was pretty decent, as you were talking about, but for the most part, they are still kind of low in the ranks. So that means they haven't really played for like a season or two. So looking on the other side of things for MSU Maroon, they're looking actually still kind of up to where they were before, for the most part, diamonds into GM3s. So they're getting there to where they were at their former glory, whereas the other side for Marist Red, they still have some work to do in the rank category. Maybe they've just been playing more scrims and maybe they've been playing other games. Who knows? So I think that might be a little bit of a factor here for the side of MSU Maroon to be more favored in comparison to Marist Red. But again, it all comes down to how the games go, the bans, the picks, and everything else. So we'll see. Apparently, Dax played for the Overwatch 2 team, though, for Marist Red. And they won some tournament recently, so that could be a good look for them, and maybe why they were GM2 and now currently ranked Platinum 3 is they're playing other games. They're busy with other things, and now they're back on the Marvel Rivals grind.
Yeah, and we do have both of the rosters here from Vanguard to listen to support. On MSU Maroon side, you've got Cody, Wolfo TV, Ajax TSS, Dark, Fearless, Reed, and Dead Positive. And on Marist Esports side, Banana Robot, Only Limes, Dax, Asgard, Me Bro, Owensky, and Blue Catapults. Yeah, I say this every week we cast. Vaudable, my favorite part about Collegiate by far, regardless of the game, is the absolute hilarity of the IGNs. Banana Robot is my favorite. That's like just, that I love that. Yeah, Banana Robot, really, really cool. MSU Maroon have the names of like pro players, like, oh, Dead Positive, Fearless, you know what I mean? Whereas Marist Red are like, yeah, this is just a name I've had since I was like 10. Like, it's my name. It came. I'm Banana Robot. I've been Banana Robot since like Fortnite, and that's just what it is. But I'm excited to see these two teams face off. We've got a lot of different hero pools here, right? Specifically, I'm looking at Ajax and Dark. They've got Magic and BP as their most played heroes for MSU Maroon. So I'm expecting some sort of dive shenanigans. I'm sure Marist have done their research. I think the big thing here, and maybe the more exploitable part, is that based off of Cody's like profile, I know he's listed as the Vanguard, but he plays Cloak, Punisher, Rocket, Moon Knight, and then Emma as his fourth played most hero. But in Season 4 has just recently picked up Vanguard, with Penny and Emma being the most too. So the fact that he's not a traditional Vanguard player might be a way for Marist Red to exploit them, as they have some actual Vanguard players. They got Thing, Venom, and Magic and Loki and all this kind of, like, they're pretty flexible, and they got Magneto as well as a Hulk player. So I'm really interested to see how these two teams face off, with Cody, I'm not going to say the weak link just yet, but definitely being new to the Vanguard role.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of these teams, though. Like, having people that are maybe not as comfortable in certain roles and having a bit more of a flex style. We see a couple of Vanguard duelist strategists on the side of Marist Red and MSU Maroon on the other side of things. They have that roles for everyone. We saw last game where there were so many flexes that it didn't quite work out as well. They were trying to figure out exactly what the strategy was going to be for them, and then they didn't really find one afterwards. So now seeing at the other side for Marist Red, I think that might be a difficult like place for them to find themselves in too. The big thing for these teams is that they have such a big hero pool that they could play through. So any bands that come through, aside from maybe Asgard Me Bro, who's got like 3 heroes that we've seen, Blade, Black Panther, and Scarlet, that could be a difficult time for them. Apparently, one of these players is stuck in a ranked game in double overtime, which is why it's taking us a little bit of time to get into our match. But, is what it is. Not too surprised, though. It's the typical bans that we see here. Actually, that's from the last one for Leslie. But it is the same. Symbiotic Surfers does get banned out. They don't want to play that one. Instead, very likely going to Hydra Chartist base You say
No.
that map sucks all the time, though. So we see this happen all the time, that people ban that one, then they go to Charter Space, and then afterwards they play some other more unique domination maps.
Yeah, I mean, Clintar is different. My dislike for it isn't as like passionate or hatred as much, because it is just kind of like a boring map. Like, it's a ring around the rosy for all 3 domination maps. Hydra is what gets my blood boiling because of the terrain changes and how not fun they're anti-fun terrain changes. Like, Burnin is cool because it changes the way you approach the map, because the section in the middle drops down and you have to go on the outside. Hydra is just, let me just put a gate in front of you, or let me just open up this part of the map that was like really never open. It's disgusting. But we are going to go to Hydra Charter Space between these 2 teams. And I feel for that guy who started a match. He probably saw that it was 5:30, had 30 minutes left. I was like, I could squeeze in another ranked game. And it's like, oh no, convergence double overtime. And it's like 30 minutes later, and then now you lose. I hope he wins it. That would be the worst if it's that long and then you lose. That kind of ruins my whole day. Like, if I have a 30-minute or 20-minute double overtime game and I don't win, I just turn off Marvel Rivals for the day, because I'm like, I've played 5 matches and won.
It just shows the grind that some of these teams are on in comparison to the others. Again, like I was talking about, the ranked grind that we're seeing from MSU Maroon compared to Maris Red, where they haven't really played ranked this season for the most part. I think it's more just the degradation of the ranks. Aside from Asgard Me Bro, they seem to be the only one who is almost at their rank that they were before. So we'll have to see what they can do from here on out if they are going to be rocking the Blade. We haven't really seen a Blade, so I'm really curious how they perform. It's also interesting they're called Blade, but most people use the gun. That's all I got to say. I mean,
he's gun. He's not Blade. He's not.
Yeah, he's gun.
He is getting some buffs, though, in season 4.5, so I'm really interested to see how that actually turns out. I'm friends with the rank 2 Blade at the moment. We're mutuals. I duo with him, or I play with him a lot. KPS Chris on TikTok. If you guys, I'll shout him out because that's my boy. But yeah, he's the rank 2 Blade right now. I think he hit Celestial with Blade this season, and he's
okay.
I don't know. He's been doing work. I don't know if it's just him being really good at the game, or Blade is slightly better, but I know he's excited about the 4.5 changes. A lot of Blade players are. I have not been liking Rival's ability to release heroes a little bit underpowered. I think the prototypical way that a lot of other games do it is they release them overpowered and then tune them down. But with Angela and now Blade, and I would even argue sometimes like Ultron, they tend to release them in an underpowered state and then go in. Really, the only hero that was released super strong, as I see you're dealing with your cat, was Emma. She was the one that was released in a very overpowered state, and unfortunately did get nerfed, I would say, consistently. I'd rather have your cat back focusing in on the draft like 2 weeks ago. That cat was laser focused. Oh, he can't hear me. My bad.
Sorry, my cat got stuck on some cables, so I had to fix that.
That would have been bad. No,
Yes.
I was just telling the chat and everybody. I was like, I'd much rather have your cat laser focus in on the draft like last couple of weeks ago, where they were honed in. They almost were able to take over for you. Like, I was like, oh,
they tried
to get
to
some draft analysis. Yeah. They tried.
And they saw that they were like banning certain heroes, and then they're like, we gotta just scratch them. Oh, and apparently they lost their game. So after all that time, they lost.
Oh, that's hopefully that's a tilter. Hopefully they can reset their mental as we get into this series here. And I like how you mentioned, MSU Maroon kind of being those grinders. Obviously, there are different philosophies in esports and for professional teams and everything like that. A lot of them do kind of focus more on scrims, especially if you can get consistent scrims like 3 to 4 times a week. If you double block or triple block, whatever. That is a better experience than ranked most of 100%. The time, right? Because controlled environments, playing against players that are either better than you or the same level as you, and it's coordinated. Like, Maris could probably come in here and realistically look at him. Maris. I have the producer. Yes, Maris. I'm reading it. I'm so sorry, Maris.
You're talking about your wrist is all it is.
Yeah. Maris. I'm so sorry, guys. I could see them coming in here with that scrim practice against 3 or 4 different teams, and then come here and just roll MSU Maroon, who might be on the opposite end of the spectrum, where they're playing a lot of solo queue, they're practicing a lot of different heroes, but maybe they haven't had a lot of time to gel, and the scrim time in their rank isn't that relevant when it comes to playing in a controlled competitive environment.
We'll have to see. That's all it comes down to. We will have to see how this match goes. We don't really know because we haven't seen this division yet. Exactly what the strategies are going to be, what the picks and bans are going to be. I mean, this is a higher division than we saw in the last series, and that was still a pretty intense matchup for the most part. 3-1 could have gone the distance, but we did see a little bit more out of the other team. So now it really just comes down to what to expect from these picks and bans. Marist Red versus MSU Maroon. I mean, we could see anything. We could see some Jeffs. We could see some... I don't think we're going to see a Thor again. I don't think we see a ban on Blade. That'd be a first ever. A ban on Hela, though. Or not Hela, excuse me, Magic on this side for Maris. I mean, there's got to be a really good Magic play on the other team. You usually see, like, really good Magics or Black Panthers, and people don't want to play against them. That's the first, though, Human Torch ban we've seen in quite some time because nobody played Human Torch in the last series, which is surprising.
Yeah, I like this. MSU Maroon recognizing that there's a Torch player on that enemy side, as well as Ajax, the Magic player for MSU Maroon. But thing is, Dark is also the BP player, so I'm interested to see if they're going to be willing to save that. MSU Maroon, though, saving the Jeff is really good. Fearless Red, Jeff is his most played hero by a lot. It's like 70% of all of his games as a support. He plays Jeff, and then it goes Adam, Luna, Rocket, but Jeff is like 300 or 400 matches, and then Adam, I think, is like 70.
Another
it's kind
Thor
of
ban.
crazy. Another Thor ban coming into here, and I believe MSU Maroon, they do have a Thor player. It's going to be Wolfo TV, but he plays everything. Hulk, Mag, Thing, Thor, Emma. That guy is a tried and true Vanguard player. He clocks into his 9 to 5. His collar is blue. His neck is red. He plays Vanguard, I promise you.
We see the Hulk save here coming in as well. So Hulk, we might see a Namor on the other side then for a ban, just so that you don't have the Gambit team up. But again, since we did see the Thor ban, going for the Hulk save based on what we expect to see from Wolf, that makes sense for their side on the save there as well. Just so they can at least have one of their Vanguards that they're used to playing being available to them. Because the Thor was banned out. They're focusing a lot on this Vanguard line, though, in terms of the bans. So we might see a ban come out for that end. We usually see more strategist bans, and I'm really surprised we haven't seen many. A Star-Lord ban. I don't think I've seen a Star-Lord ban since we used to see triple res.
So Ajax also plays Star-Lord, right? So I kind of understand if that's the move. Invis ban is going to just be a general nice ban here, but yeah, I'm not really in love with the ban strategy coming out from both of these teams. Like Torch, okay, I get it. Venom, not that worried. I guess Oni Lime's Venom is his most played, but again, he plays Magneto, he plays Hulk, like there's Mag. Like I feel like there's a much more viable threats on both teams. We'll see if it ends up working. I'm interested to see Owensky's Blade coming into fruition here. Like,
I hope we do.
I'm really excited. I want to see them lock the Blade here. Emma is still on the table for both of these teams, which works against both of these. Like, Wolfo TV, unless he's just the goated Hulk of all time, as Ajax is actually going to lock the Blade in as well. He has been playing Blade in Season 4. It's his most played.
Okay. Ajax is like, hey, you banned 2 of my heroes. I'm going to play Blade instead. And we see a Blade versus Blade matchup. I think this is the first time I've seen this matchup, actually. So really curious what the strategy is going to be for these teams. Dark, yeah, on the Black Panther Blade, and a Jeff, too, with a Hulk. This is a crazy matchup that we see here. And not even a triple support with the Jeff either. It's only a double support.
Or the Adam.
Yeah, no Adam either. So this is some interesting compositions happening here, Shibby.
Yeah, 2 support compositions from both of these teams here. Jeff, Cloak, and Adam and Luna. I'm really interested to see what this Black Panther ends up doing, because Black Panther into Adam can be a little tough, especially with that soul bond and his ability to throw damage back at you. Like, Adam is one of the highest DPS supports in the game, especially able to charge up his Cosmic Cluster. The Blade v Blade, though, we'll see which one is ice skating uphill, as Dark has already eliminated Blue Catapults, and Fearless Reed does take down the rest of the squad here, and MSU Maroon power through the rest of this squad. Really, really interesting. Owensky has on that Adam, does live, but I don't know if I like this composition coming out from this team.
It is weird. I will say that. But hey, we'll see if they stick with it, if they change it up further down the line. Again, this is just the first map, so still plenty of time for adaptation for the most part. Playing that kind of midfield range here as Asgard Bro is typically the best spot for Blade from what we've seen. Or the peak damage that you can get with their gun, and also just diving in, using all their abilities just to try and make it more difficult for the other team to heal themselves up and keep themselves sustained as well. But the difficulty with playing Blade is you can't heal yourself as well as possible. And there's a triple as well. Tremble before Bass from Dark.
Yeah, I was worried about this. This is his most played hero. Dark's BP, absolutely disgusting. Sure, you take out the magic from Ajax, but not respecting the BP. This is a mistake you only make once. Game 2, 3, 4, and 5, I don't think Dark's going to get his Black Panther.
Not at all.
As we do see the map changing right now. 1,000 cuts coming in from Ajax. See what it can do. Not much, unfortunately. But we do see Dax go down on the Winter Soldier. Kraken Impact was available. Sonic Embrace coming out from Cody. Catches every single member. And we see Ajax just slicing and dicing and absolutely cutting the competition down.
This is what you come to expect when you have a team who has been playing the most recent season, knows kind of some of the meta that you can go for, and then some odd bans on the other side for Marist Red. They do have a lot of their ultimates available to them, but again, percentage not in their favor, and they're getting pushed back still. Not even swapping in over to a Doctor Strange, which wasn't banned, by the way. They don't have enough time, and they're just going to drop this here.
They got held and spawned.
Yeah.
Marist got held and spawned. Like, MSU Maroon knew exactly what they needed to do here, and like you mentioned, you're only as good as your last practice here, and Maroon have been grinding comp. Look at the team here. Cody 13-1-1 on the Vanguard. Dark 15-0 on this Black Panther. 8 final hits, and for people that don't know why some of these guys' portraits look a little weird, that's Lord, and what that means is they have a lot of time on these heroes, Hulk and BP, Dark and Wolf OTV, playing some of their most comfortable heroes in Marvel Rivals in this game here. Again, I don't think Dark should get this. I faced off against this guy in solo queue. Like, he's absolutely disgusting.
Having to flex a little bit there, but also 15-0 is pretty insane. Also, only 2 limbs on the side of MSU Maroon. 2 players who have gone down specifically there. So Marist Red needs some more damage, but they're going actually triple support instead. Try and see if they can keep Dax up, keep their front line as well with their Vanguards up into the fight. So we'll see how effective that is, but the slaying power of MSU Maroon, I feel like is still going to benefit here.
I mean, if Dark can just get in and hit those disgusting combos, as Oni Limes does pop that Psionic Embrace. Eternal Bond coming in response for Dead Positive. Meteor M, does it land on anybody? Lands onto Ajax. Very well played from Marist there. That's going to put them in a 6v5 situation. Dark still has the Bast available. And it looks like Wolf OTV unable to pop their ultimate. And it looks like MSU Maroon are going to go down. Tremble for Basto. Dark picks up 2 in the backside. Can he get more? Dax ends up taking him out, and the point goes over to Marist. Very well played. Wait a minute, Ajax. 1,000 cuts comes in. We respond. Blue Catapult with the Luna Snow ultimate. And finally, the point gets secured, although I don't necessarily agree with popping the Luna Snow ultimate there for 1 Blade ult. The ult economy is going to go over the favor of MSU Maroon, especially with Fearless Reed having that Jeff eat. Wolf OTV also has the Monster Hulk available.
We also don't have the rank for Blue Catapult, so they might be a newer player to this team as well, and Marvel Rivals. Don't know their exact average there, but that was not the best armed and dangerous we have seen today. Kraken Impact goes through, and, well, there is a double coming through from Fearless Reed. Marist Red had a decent foothold at the start. They do have the Karmic Revival coming through this time. The res goes through, and they keep their team up into the fight afterwards, but they're already Owensky going down to Cody. Dark getting 1, looking for the second here, just slicing and dicing through the line as much as they can. They got to double themselves, and MSU Maroon just getting free ult charge from that.
This guy needs to be nerfed. Because he also has the Gamma team up, which is like pretty underused with Black Panther, but it's essentially a get out of jail free card because when he goes low, he gets a free gamma bubble similar to what Hulk does when he presses his shift. I mean, look at him just hunting, waiting. I'm so scared if I'm the supports. If I'm not tracking and marking this guy, he's going to rip through this team right now.
He's waiting for it.
Oh, come on.
Not what he wanted on that one. Not what he wanted. I mean, we were hyping him up a little bit too much, and he was getting some performance anxiety there. It doesn't happen all the time, but again, talk to your doctor. Maris Red, Banana Rod, we'll see what they can do on this one. Trying to see if Dark is going to be able to take them out, and Dak does go down to Wolf. Decent positioning there by the Vanguards on MSU Maroon just to hold Maris Red at bay, and this seems like a similar story to what we saw on the last point. Fearless Red only getting the Magneto, but that might just be enough to prevent even more advancement from the other team.
Whoa!
Oh, Fear Magneto, Meteor M actually surviving and gets a pick from it. That was a mistake there for Fearless Red, and why you go down with the ship.
Yeah, unfortunately not tracking the ultimates, although this Ajax, love that. Good hella ultimate, zoning. There is now he might pay the price actually. Man. Uses the arcane flock, does go down, and real Owenist is gonna come in here, gets to eat onto the cloak and dagger, but immediately gets beaten down here. Shark food for MSU Maroon as the point has not flipped. Maris does pop that teleporter or the portal here, and they're going to be able to contest once again, but Dark ripping through the rest of the competition has the Bast ultimate available right now, looking for the resets. There's a spear. Tremble before Bast comes in, takes down another Jeff the Shark, and they're just going to be ripping through the remainder of Marist Red here. A quick 2-0 domination map for MSU Maroon. Although it looked a little dicey, they were almost always in control of Audible.
And the Black Panther. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta do. And then they'll already be doing like 50% better because Dark was unstoppable. The rest of the team, yes, they're doing some great work. MVP should be. Yes, exactly. I don't even... Yeah, one death. I was gonna have to say, I don't think they died more than once, that map. That is dominance to the 10th degree. Fearless Reed didn't even die. 24-0. That's why they didn't go down with the ship. They wanted to keep their streak going. You cannot allow that to happen on domination. Maris Red have some work to do between this map and the next for Convergence. Looking forward from here, I mean, again, ban the Black Panther, maybe a bit of a better strategy, not focusing so much on the duelists on the other side. I feel like Magic you can handle for the most part. Yes, that team up is annoying, especially with Doctor Strange. You can ban Doctor Strange on Convergence, so you don't have to worry about it. We saw that happen in the lower division for Division 5 in our previous series. So there's a couple different strategies we could expect to see here in the pick and ban phase, and I feel like this one was partially lost in the pick and ban phase.
Yeah, I'm maybe a little bit harsher, Vaudable. I'm a bit disappointed in the prep that Maris has come into MSU Maroon. Like, Ajax, yeah, sure, you ban the magic away, you look through the profiles, but Dark gets his BP, Fearless Reed gets his Jeff, his most played. Mind you, I said 70% of all of his games, I think, were on Jeff. Wolfo TV gets Hulk, right? I mean, I would much rather deal with a mag or a thing, especially because the Hulk BP team up gives BP that extra survivability. Like, it feels like the prep here was a little lacking, and maybe it took a game here from Maris to kind of figure out, hey, we cannot give the BP away and the Hulk. We ban one or the other. I'm much more inclined to, like you said, ban the BP away, because Hulk, you can deal with it. If you have an Emma on your team, if you have a Bucky potentially, like there are ways to play around that. For BP, especially one that moves like Dark, other than that highlight or the low light that we put on him, the guy was shifty. He was 33-1 for a reason. And only real counters you have are stuff like Thing, Namor, Hulk, stuff like that. But at that point, if you're expending multiple different heroes for one guy, that just means that somebody like Ajax, somebody like Wolfo gets to feast on your team. So it is a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, but I'm really interested to see what this next ban phase looks like coming out from Marist.
It's a tough spot too, because like looking at the composition for Maris Red, they have 3 strategists for the most part, like a duelist strategist and Asgard Me Bro. They swapped over to the Cloak and Dagger, and it was working decently from then on, but they didn't get a single final hit as Blade, and that's where they were missing that kind of slaying ability. They only had 3 final hits from Dax, which was their main duelist. The most final hits that they had was from Banana Robot on the other side of things. So they need to find some way to be able to eliminate the other team straight up. I mean, maybe using Punisher. You talked about the Bucky that they have available to them. I saw the ban from the Human Torch. Maybe they're just so used to playing Human Torch that they just didn't know what to do without it. Either way, they need a bit more flexibility on the side of their hero pool, because right now, if we go into this next map with the exact same bans and setup, it's going to be a 2-0 already in favor of MSU Maroon. So something needs to change.
Yeah, something needs to change, and it needs to change quickly. Also, the adaptation, right? I feel like Maris was a little bit slow on kind of what they needed to do to counter what MSU Maroon was doing. And I just got word from production that it is going to be Clintar, right? A really cool convergence map. We have seen a lot of 0.1 holds, right? Rarely do we get to see. I know we've seen some absolutely disgusting holds. This map also opens itself up to Penny, who is a defensive juggernaut. Like on certain maps, I always, when I tier list her and when I talk about her in my videos and stuff like that, I always say she is either S tier or F tier, depending on the map, depending on the setup. If you can get the Rocket team up going, she can set up some absolutely disgusting traps here. Pair that up with the Winter Soldier that we have seen previously in pro matches and stuff like that. The trick is you set up the nest, you set up the mines, and you pull somebody into the mines, and they're gone. It's done. There's no real counterplay unless there's like a Magneto bubble or something like that. But it takes a lot of coordination. It takes a lot of finesse. And I'm not sure if MSU Maroon or Marist have that ability to pull that off here. It's unfortunately the map isn't loading, but we promise you it is Clintar. And this is a map that a lot of teams have been playing since obviously season the game has came out, since beta. This was one of the original maps in the game. So both of these teams, all these players, very, very experienced on this map. They know all the ins and outs. I'm just praying that I don't see these teams just go down main when it doesn't work, because there is that high ground right side that I always talk about. Yeah, Vaudeville, like, I know you're already like, so please times. Just don't run down main.
I'm very curious what the adaptation, as we talked about before, is what we need to see from Marist Red is going to be here. If you don't ban Black Panther, they are going to save Black Panther, and they banned the Jeff first, which I get. The Black Panther was the main issue that you were running into. Yes, Jeff was annoying. Oh my goodness, they're going to save Black Panther. If they do not save Black Panther, I don't know what they're doing. But, okay, they saved the Hela. They're feeling more confident on the Hela. They're like, hey, we don't need Black Panther on this map. There's a little bit more open hallways, so I guess the teleports that you do have, like little portals for Hela, do give you a bit more leeway there as well. If you don't ban the Doctor Strange at this point, then I'm like, what are you doing? Giving that team up to a Hela that's that confident as well. We didn't really see...
Oh, there's the BP ban.
I feel like it's a little late. They already locked in the Hela. And
the
maybe
magic.
they expected, or the magic, excuse me, sorry about that. The Black Panther, I feel like, is a little late on that end, because they have the magic available to them. You are giving them the availability to lock in the Doctor Strange for the team up, which I would do if I was MSU Maroon, so that I have that available. We didn't really see the greatest Doctor Strange play from Maris Red, but instead they're going for the Hulk, I guess, so that they can use Namor when they're on defense. I'm very curious on what the strategy is here for the Hulk on this one.
So, interesting caveat, and this may end up being a problem for them later down the line. MSU Maroon's tank line, they don't have any strange players, Vaudeville. It's Hulk, Mag, Thane, Thor, Emma, and then it's Emma Penny for MSU Maroon here. So they do have a pocket Penny with Cody. They don't have the strange, so it looks like Harris is going to pop in the Doctor Strange here for themselves. Doctor Strange, granted, not the hardest hero to pick up. I promise you, he is relatively simple. Like, you can get a little bit funky with him if you know the animation cancels. Yeah, there's the actual Hela band that you probably were hoping for here. MSU Maroon do have a disgusting Hela, but like you said, I don't know. The BP ban might be a little late. The Ultron ban is really nice. Denies some of that anti-dive potential, especially because you're running the magic. Magic Hulk, not as effective as Hulk BP in terms of the team up, but Magic got a lot of changes where she's a lot more brawl focused because she gets extra cooldowns off of hitting some of her abilities. She can portal more consistently, which gives her more survivability. So yes, she did lose out on her damage thresholds because she lost the anchor, but in turn she gained survivability and made her more of a brawler, which in some cases makes her more annoying.
I feel like Magic is such an annoying hero to play against. You talked about the Penny. I mean, man, Penny and Magic as a combination alone is annoying. But here we go, Doctor Strange. We talked about that team up so many times with Magic. I mean, I would have been so shocked if we did not see a Doctor Strange. Again, why do you just deliver the Doctor Strange onto their lap when you know they have a good Magic on their team is all I gotta say. It's just making your day that much worse. But who knows? Again, we do see the Star-Lord here available for Oni Limes, so I'm curious how they're going to perform with it. I've seen some decent Star-Lord play on this map, just because you can kind of bob and weave in and out of the little catacombs that you can go through, or like the hallways, but even then, yeah, Maris Red, they have their work cut out for them, man.
Yeah, the strategy here, and I talked about it, Dark might be able to pull somebody into these mines here, although I do like the Thing preemptively into the Magic. They opened it up purposely because they wanted to play Thing in here, but the interesting part about Thing is that he is a bullet sponge. He absolutely charges, as GG Dax is going to take Wolf ODV, and Cody actually takes down Asgard Me Bro with the mines. This is the one map where, again, Penny, or not the one map, but this is one of the maps defensively where Penny is disgusting, and these are the one of two tanks that Cody has been practicing. Where is our research?
That's just the tough part of this too, because like, again, so much of Marvel Rivals is won and lost in the pick and ban phase, and we see a similar situation here. And yes, you can always frag out against the other team, do the best as possible, but we haven't necessarily seen that from Maris Red based on the evidence of the one map we've witnessed from them so far. So MSU Maroon just gotta keep doing what they're doing. Dark has their ultimate build up. See what they can use here. Racket Impact comes through. Does get a couple of hits and tags, but they do get the refresh barely at the last second there. Tries to get it on the end here for the Emma. Looking for a third if they can get it, but pushing everyone back from Maris Red to their spawn. And good hold so far in the first half of this starting salvo.
Dark is a better man than me, because once I got that reset, that second one, I would have dove right into their spawn trying to get it again. The patience from MSU Maroon as well, like, that's something that is learned over time. Like, this team definitely understands their limits, how far they can push. Like, this is a deadly squad here. Ajax on this Magic, looking for an angle here. Darkchild available in about 20%, but look how much damage they are doing, swinging that massive sword around. Multiple ultimates on the side of Maris, though. Do the amplifier being popped in from Fearless Reed. In response, it's going to be the Luna Snow ultimate. But Darkchild plus damage boost could actually end up chopping through everybody if they end up actually popping it. Instead, Ajax is going to pop the Darkchild with the Luna Snow ultimate not available. Clobbering time. Tried to respond onto the Darkchild, but a beautiful portal coming out from Ajax. And yeah, he's going to slice and dice through your team. Beautiful, beautiful play from MSU Maroon. I mean, just, chef's kiss. Gordon Ramsay would be proud of that, Vaudable.
Yeah, and we talked about the kind of hold that these teams are able to enact on this specific convergent map, and we are seeing a textbook case of it by MSU Maroon. Ajax gets to the back line, takes them out so that they can't sustain themselves, so they push forward. The Penny is just there to be a nuisance to them with the mines and webbing them up so that they can't even escape. Even the Thing, who was trying to move back to their spawn, got stalled out a little bit, even though it doesn't really do too much from the webbing. It did enough there. So there's going to be a portal onto the objective this time. They're going to use their ultimate to also get them some presence on the point and get them at least a tick, which is big. But there's a big grab and hook from Dark. The Galactic Legend is basically a moot point. Nothing happens here. Crack an impact as well. They do have to proc it right after the Meteor M. They do manage to pop that off onto the other Bucky, trying to get the reset. Not fast enough, though, themselves. They do get at least a KO at the end and delaying Maris even more so. 20 seconds. I don't think this is enough time for Maris Red to get on the objective.
Not at all, unless they swap over to something like the Venom that I think was banned out. So
it was, yeah.
A lot of Spider-Man, maybe, if they can try to touch the point. It's only 10 seconds. This is looking rough for Maris here, and MSU Maroon with that 100% hold defensively. And yeah, Captain America doesn't even get on the point. Vaudable, did I ever mention that Dark's second most played hero is Winter Soldier?
You did not, but now we know, and I can see why. Because they are a menace on any hero that they are able to choose. Oh my gosh. Ajax, the only member of MSU Maroon who has gone down this time. Last time we always saw 2 members with a single death on their side. MSU Maroon, again, I talked about this going into the series, just looking at the consistency of ranked degradation between these 2 teams. You got to play the game. Right now, it just feels like Maris Red have not played recently, and it happens, you're busy with whatever you got going on during the summer or preparing for finals or anything else. I get it. But Maris Red, you talk about it, have to do their homework against their teams that they're facing off against, and they have become ill-prepared. They are trying to wing an exam with all the marks, and right now they're not really coming up with anything.
Vaudable, I'm a firm believer of you get what you put in, right? Like that's I think that's not just in Marvel Rivals, but just in life in general. You get what you put into it, and it seems like MSU Maroon knew that their collegiate season was starting up, knew that, this is the first, obviously, official collegiate event for Marvel Rivals, and they went, you know what, let's start practicing ranked.
Oh, Dax! Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a way to wake up. The perfect portal, baiting everyone.
No.
Set 2 of the strategists out who are a little bit delayed on it. That is an insane play, and hey, gotta give respect to it. They're taking their time. They could go around it. They're just admiring the handiwork at this point, and you kind of have to.
It's a good portal.
Dax. That's a good portal, yeah.
GG Dax with the quadra kill off the portal. I don't think Maroon were obviously they weren't, right? But that's such a cheesy thing that's existed since the beginning of the game. It's funny that it still works. As Owensky has swapped over to the Moon Knight, and we could see a potential tie between these 2 teams if Owensky and the rest of the gang can actually hold this against MSU Maroon. Look at the ult charge for GG Dax, though, right? He's got nearly 90% because he got 4 kills right off the bat. Both of the Winter Soldiers clashing in with their charges. That's the funny little animation that happens. Unfortunately, though, Ajax, Cody, and Dark have picked up 3 members. And Dax, buddy, you used your portal for kills. How do you get back onto the point?
You don't. It's basically the short of it at this point, and short is the way to describe this series so far. I mean, sweep in domination, single point needed for convergence. Convoy is up next here, Shibby. We might be out before the hour's up.
Potentially. We'll see if MSU Maroon can take this series 3-0. Dark, once again, the MVP. I've got a little bit of a bet for you, Vaudable. Do you think Dark gets the MVP for the next game?
I think so. I will say that I believe they will get the MVP yet again. Again, that's the biggest difficulty that this team of Maris Red is encountering. Final hits, eliminations. They have not gotten many of them. 6 total this go around, compared to, as you see, multiple members, Dark and Ajax, getting more than the entire team of Maris Red combined in final hits for their squad. So, need to see a little bit more from the Maris Red team in terms of slaying the other squad. But again, it also starts with the composition. We talked about it before. Not the best look from them that side. They banned the Jeff first instead of focusing in on kind of the duelist potential that we expect from those 2 strongest members of Ajax and Dark. They did a little bit of that in the first map, of course, as they did ban the Magic there before and then the Thor. But I think they need to focus on the Magic this time and the Black Panther and maybe a Bucky, because they're not going to save the Bucky. And they might be feeling a little bit more confident after that. The rest of it's like, the typical rigmarole of, saving your strategists and banning out some other hit scans that could be used. But these heroes are so monumental when there's someone that's really good with them that a lot of teams just don't have an answer against them.
I think to slightly hammer in the point before we go to break here on the Elim side, if you take Dax's 4 portal Elims out of the equation, that's there's only true. 2 Elims for Banana Robot. So definitely need to understand how Maris Red can confirm those eliminations, whether they need to run a 3 DPS composition or they need to run maybe more one-shots.
Punisher, maybe?
But it is going to be tough. Maybe play Punisher. They did swap over to it. Asgard Bro looked like he was going to opt into that. But it looks like MSU Maroon just has too many questions for Maris Red to answer. we'll see if they can maybe claw their way back and turn this into a series, or if MSU Maroon take this series 3-0. We're going to go to a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with potentially the final game of the series between MSU Maroon and Marist Red. Welcome back, everybody, to your regularly scheduled collegiate Marvel Rivals action here at the NECC. I'm still Shibby, that's still Vaudable, and we are getting into Game 3 of our Best of 5 series between MSU Maroon and Marist Red. MSU Maroon, there's no other way to put it. They quite handily dominated Marist Red in these first two maps. They are a very, very good team here. They've been playing the game. They're peak Celestial players. They're all around Diamond GM. Unfortunately, on the Marist side, although they are peak GM players, like you mentioned, Vaudable, maybe they haven't had as much time to spend playing the game and playing together. Obviously, school's in session. You've got finals, you've got midterms, you've got girlfriends, boyfriends, everything like that. Like, I get it. I understand. I was there. It was long ago, but I was there. I understand how busy it can get. But again, Vaudable, I am a very, very, I'm a person that believes that you get in what you put in. So unfortunately for Maris Red, they just have not been putting the time into solo queue. They haven't been putting the time potentially, ranking up and really mastering their mechanics. If you look on the side of MS Maroon, they're a well-oiled machine. Like the way they play the game and the way they have patience, the way they're very, very controlled. Like, again, Dark had the ability to go in with his ultimate onto 4 members into the spawn of Maris Red. He probably could have got out, but he opted in to save it and say, you know what? Let's play controlled. Let's not make mistakes. That's how you are supposed to play this game. That's how you're supposed to play competitive.
Well, it looks like we'll have a little bit longer of a journey this time. I believe Maris Red are on the defensive end and MSU Maroon are attacking. So the Venom ban comes out first for MSU Maroon. Maris Red, we will see what their strategy is. They go for magic, makes sense because of how effective it was last time, especially on this map. Very annoying to deal with because there's so many different like alcoves that you could go into instead, especially after that first point.
Buildings.
Yeah, different buildings as well. Adam Warlock is always, I feel like, a good choice here for Midtown, so it makes sense that they can pick it up and do some great work with it. On the other side of things, though, the Jeff getting it banned or saved for their side of things, we did see a Jeff ban happening the other direction, so they wanted to make sure that they locked that Jeff in so that they have it available to them. We do see the Black Panther, so hey, they're learning. Maris Red, they're picking up what we're putting down. That's huge. They're focusing on the dive duelists that we've been seeing be so effective against them. Now I'm curious who they're going to save, though.
Yeah, I like the Adam save. Mantis as well.
I like it.
Yeah. Maris Red paying a little bit of attention to Marvel Rivals Ignite. These are some high-tier premium saves, especially if you're going to opt in to run a triple support composition. Yes, we don't have the res anymore, but still, Adam Mantis plus another main support is a deadly 3-support composition. It's very, very good, especially you can get the damage boost going on something like a Punisher that you mentioned, which I believe Marist can run and really do good here.
And the Bucky,
you can run
ban
either
the Bucky. Okay.
No, they're banning the Emma. Okay. I don't mind that, especially because
I get it.
Yeah, that takes out Cody's one of his heroes here, the Emma, which leaves him with the Penny. We haven't seen Cody opt in for a couple different Vanguards. He can also swap around and play the support or DPS if he needs to. Like I said, he's the one newest to the role, so kind of targeting him a little bit does give you that ability to exploit that Vanguard line where Maris Red can definitely do some damage with something like a Magneto, Doctor Strange tank line. Like a very classic composition, Vaudable, that I know you're familiar with, that 100 Thieves ran, not in this Ignite, but last Ignite. It was a Doctor Strange, Magneto, solo DPS, Punisher, and then they ran like Adam, Mantis, plus another support here. So I want to see if Maris Red can copy that. Shout out to 100 Thieves, though, getting first place in Group Stage Night. Somehow, some way, they always show up.
They do, man. I mean, they are inevitable.
I love that team.
Except in a couple of other titles that they are backing out of. Either way, though.
Oh,
Maris
ouch.
Red,
Ouch.
Yeah, I had to bring it up. Either way, MSC Maroon, I do like this build that we're seeing from them in terms of composition. The bread and butter combo of Storm and Punisher, just for the extra damage. I mean, they did have the
Jeff
save.
as well.
Yeah, Jeff is also good for the Jeff NATO. I like the Groot here being available to them as well, making it difficult for people to escape from that combination of the Jeff NATO. So annoying to deal with. Dax, though, on the Moon Knight, I'm really curious how they're going to be effective for their team. We do have the Gamma team up, which is already a non-issue because there goes Namor. They're taken out so quick.
Let me see this guy's tracking. What? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. This guy's a demon. Oh, no. Is that a Radiant Valorant player? Hello?
It seems like it.
Hello? This guy's tracking. No. I know it sounds like I'm glazing, but this... Oh, no. What a diabolical stagger.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, that is some buttery smooth tracking coming out from Dark. Absolutely disgusting here. He might get MVP again.
That's what I was saying. We're probably expecting it again from Dark. Especially once they get their ultimate again. Final Judgment available to them pretty soon. We'll see what's going to be coming up from them in mere moments.
Oh, don't go thing into this.
And, yeah, that's why would you? Yeah, the moon is haunting, but it's not haunting anyone right now except their dreams, because they were hoping that would actually do something. And there's a shotgun to the face. They'll try and get another elim. Does kind of get taken a little bit there, but they'll still get some credit. Ouch.
In other news, Dark putting on a clinic.
Yeah.
Very, very good composition as well. Like you said, MSU Maroon paying attention to what works. Storm Punisher is not a new combo, has been in the game for a while. The damage boost, like you mentioned, decreases the time to kill on a lot of these tanks, vanguards, duelists, whatever. And if you have buttery smooth tracking like this, and you can get, what, 50, 60, 70% accuracy, as he does put out the Final Judgment here, plus the ultimate coming in from Magneto does not land. Very well played from MSU Maroon to protect their Punisher. And Dark is a one-man army. He is actually lore-accurate Punisher, because I've seen what this guy can do in the comics, in the TV shows. He quite literally is just a walking clinic.
The whole team also picking up the slack as well. Not just Dark, who's been doing some good work, but without the rest of their squad, they wouldn't be able to do what they have been. Cody looking good on the Vanguard, same for Wolfo. Dead positive. I mean, they've been very positive as a strategist to keep their team in the fight every time. So the whole team, Strangling Prison comes through. They just get a triple as group.
Nice clobbering time.
Somehow. And, well, Dax, they are able to get a little bit of a bounce back themselves. We'll see if their dark magic will be enough to keep them in the fight, because they go down pretty swiftly.
And Marist running a... Okay, not anymore. The 3... Yeah, I was a little confused when they ran the Atom plus Invis. I just feel like that's never enough heals. They have finally swapped over to the comp that I wanted them to since point 1. You run the triple support, and you have a damage boost coming out from Rocky. You also have the Soul Bond to help you with a lot of these combos coming in. Now, I really need to see this Punisher, real Onus specifically, go crazy on this Final Judgment. And the rest of Maris Red have to protect him. Either it's a bubble, GG Dax is throwing up the shield, because Wolfo TV is going to pop that Magneto ultimate. Does get absolutely blown up. Very well played from Maris Red here. Now we need to see some kills confirmed at the moment. Blue Catapult, though, does pop the invisible. And this is the one part of the map where you can get a massive multi-kill. If I had a nickel for every Jeff multi-kill I saw today, I'd have about 25 cents, which isn't a lot, but it is pretty solid.
And that's a good way to describe MSU Maroon. Pretty solid at Marvel Rivals. They have been unrivaled this entire series. 3-0. Barely wasting any time. 3 minutes and 57 seconds remaining. That is a record on this stream, I gotta say, from tuning into the previous weeks. Maris Red, if they ever had a mountain to climb, well, it has become Mount Everest, and they don't have any climbing gear on them.
Interested to see what Marist pops out of spawn with. I do like the 3 support solo DPS composition. Like, I think if they open up with that, that would be really nice. Mr. Twister, though, that guy's got a Lord Mr. Fantastic. Are we going to see some Mr. Fantastic shenanigans? All right. I love it, actually. You know, like, look, I'm all for getting weird, right? I love the wacky, unorthodox characters in any game. You name it. I love me some weird characters.
Mr. Fantastic, Thor, and Star-Lord. This is great. I love it.
This is either going to go one of two ways. It's going to go fantastic, no pun intended, or it's going to go horribly wrong.
Probably both. In their own ways. Probably both in their own ways. But yeah, Maris likely to be stuck in their spawn. We do see the coveted, patented triple tank hold onto the spawn.
Oh, this is disgusting.
Yeah. So we'll see how it comes through. With the damage boost as well from Ajax, mind you. So they got some stuff that they can do. But I feel like it might have just been better if they stuck with some damage themselves against this Maris roster. And they're actually getting pushed a little bit here.
I like this from MSU Maroon, though, right? This is something you'd run against even teams that are better than you. As I say that, Dark and Fearless do pick up multiple kills on Damaris Red's back line. Twister couldn't get enough damage in. And at this point, the moment you see this, the classic counters I've seen have been Iron Man, Squirrel Girl, and Moon Knight. Those are the ones that can farm a ton of damage, and they can build their ultimate off of these tanks, right? Because the one thing they don't have is if you damage overload the tanks or you damage overload the backline, it can be very rough here. Looks like Maris Red are going for a different option, the Wolverine into the triple tank. Normally, I think that's okay, but it's actually just too many tanks. Like, you kidnap one, it doesn't matter, because there's two more ready to go. As we do see the God of Thunder coming in from GG Dax. Blue Catapult is going to pop that invisible boundary as well. Cody has a Strangling Prison available. Does get kidnapped in, but a nice bubble coming out from MSU Maroon and a massive Strangling Prison. The unfortunate Rocket Ultimate does not cover their bases. Marist Red, they may have not even seen a composition like this. There's a good possibility they've never seen this in solo queue and in scrims. I don't know how many teams are busting this out, but I love that MSU Maroon are taking this team seriously. They're running something that you would run against the best of the teams, and that's just how disciplined this squad looks like. Nice Eye of Agamotto, good push, but unfortunately still lands onto multiple members. Maris Red don't die just yet, but they are getting pushed back into their spawn like you mentioned.
No conversions that they were hoping for. Meteor M does come out here from Banana Robot, but it doesn't really get the connection that I was hoping for. And that's been the struggle this entire series, is those eliminations against MSU Maroon. And having this great heals, having the damage boost onto MSU Maroon, and the triple tank is just making it an impenetrable wall of defense. They can't push forward, time ticking down. They need some sort of team fight victory that we have not seen from Maris Red yet. So hopefully they can turn things around. I do like this changeup though, moving to the Wolverine so they can at least get a couple picks. There's some good bounce back, taking out Dark. Ajax goes down, and Fearless Reed, well, they're gonna have the Born again and bring everyone back into the fight.
Karmic Retribution coming in, and it's kind of disgusting because he's not just bringing back DPS, he's bringing back tanks. I have to chew through a couple thousand HP bars here, and Cody does get pulled into the back of the team, probably somewhere he doesn't want to be. And the amplifier coming in from Only Line should give them the damage. An ult didn't go off. Yeah, Cody, I think he whiffed it, or one of the shields ended up eating it. So Maris Red are going to be pushing out further, and Mr. Twister has the fantastic ultimate coming through, getting a ton of damage. Unfortunately, not able to earn very many kills, but Wolfo TV takes down Owensky. MSU Maroon are in a 6v5 situation. They most likely will be pushing up, with Wolf having that Eye of Agamotto, lands onto multiple members, takes down Blue Catapults. God of Thunder coming in from GG Dax. Looks like it doesn't pick up anybody. Dark, though, picks up Banana Robot. Oni Limes has respawned Blue Catapult. And mind you, all this hectic back and forth between these two teams. And we're down to 30 seconds left for Maris Red. They most likely will get the CP off from GG Dax, and that's going to be last fight territory, Vaudable.
It will be the last fight here for Maris Red if they want to stay alive in this whole series. 10 seconds left on the clock. GG Dax needs to go for it now, unless they're just taking their time for the last moment. Going into the objective, you do see the Groot Walls come through, trying to see if they can do some good damage as they come through it. Meteor M happens from Banana Robot, tries to get a pick, but can't even get that onto Ajax. You mentioned perfect bubbles coming through. Great support from MSU Maroon. They're trying to hold things down and close things out before that first objective. They don't want to extend this team fight any longer. Strangling Prison available for Cody. It goes through. Fearless Reed can do some good damage. Even if they get taken out, they have the revival themselves. But that's a great one for Owensky. And some good picks as well from Mr. Fantastic. Uses their ultimate, goes down. Most of the members of MSU Maroon, you mentioned it though. The revival comes through. Everyone's back into the fight, and they still have not reached the checkpoint.
Disgusting Adam Warlock ultimate to bring everybody back. But the amplifier coming in from Oni Limes could give Maris Red the ability to burst through the tankiness of MSU Maroon, but Dead Positive does pop the invisible boundary, as well as Ajax popping the Mantis ultimate. Nice Eye of Agamotto, though, coming out from GG Dax. Banana Robot picks up Dead Positive, and Maris Red are not going to go down. It's getting funky. It's getting weird. It's getting Mr. Fantastic in the building, Vaudable. They take point one and extend the series 2.5 minutes.
Hard-fought victory by Maris Red, the first team fight wins that we have seen from them this series. They need to rally behind that and then some. Because again, if they do make it all the way to 3 points that they need to at least go to overtime, they're going to have to overcome a 3-minute just about difference between these two. I think this is a good swap off, actually, for Fearless Reed. Back to the Jeff, making it so they can get them away from the convoy itself. That was the biggest struggle here for MSU Maroon to close things out. Maris Red just kept getting back onto the point, and they couldn't really do too much to worry about it. So Owensky back into the fight here. We'll see what they could do if they could grab anyone away from the objective, but I did like the swaps here. Strangling Prison going into it too. Some good damage being put up. Cody did get a triple themselves, but Owensky tried to at least get some conversions and got a couple for the road.
And MSU Maroon have swapped over to their stock standard confidence. All right, guys, no more triple support, triple tank. Let's put Dark back onto the Punisher that carried us to that offensive victory. And now Maris Red, they need to make these swaps. I don't know if Owensky needs to stick onto the Wolverine necessarily. Twister is just going to be ult battery for Dark here. We do see MSU Maroon. Dark has that final judgment available. Let's see if Banana Robot can get the dunk onto him. But MSU Maroon have been absolutely laser focused on keeping their team alive. The bubbles from Wolfo TV and the coverage from Cody have been absolutely fantastic. Big eat coming out from Fearless Reed. 4 members in his belly. And he's going to take him off the map.
Oh, almost all of them, but did manage to clean things up afterwards too. That's the one spot you can actually send them packing afterwards. So time ticking down, less than 40 seconds remain for Maris Red to keep their fight alive. And hey, we did see some improvements from them, but again, hesitant to change their composition now. It worked out so well. MSU Maroon swapped up. They need to swap it up themselves if they want to deal with the damage capabilities of MSU Maroon here. Could be a really tough fight for them to stay alive. 15 seconds remaining. Eye of Agamotto comes through, but they can't do much with it. Meteor M actually gets a double themselves, and Mr. Twister, huge for a 2-piece to their team. MSU Maroon falls apart at the seams.
Unfortunately, the final judgment from Dark was not enough. And like you said, Maris Red doing a very good job of winning these last-second team fights. Respawn is available for Oni Limes as well. Here comes the Goddess of Thunder, though. Let's see if they can actually get it done. No, I haven't found anybody just yet. No support ultimates available, and no kills coming out from the Storm ultimate is absolutely tragic. MSU Maroon, Dead Positive and Wolfway TV don't have ultimates available. It's a 5v5 at the moment. The Visible Barrier does get popped. Unfortunately, Wolfo TV cannot get the Meteor M. And once again, it's getting fantastic vaudable.
Not so fantastic for MSU Maroon. Eye of Agamotto, though, does get a couple of hits, and the Wolverine is doing its work, taking them out. Last Stand, not really having to worry too much. Last Stand basically summarizes what we have seen from Maris Red. They have been taking their time as much as they can to keep themselves alive. The Jeff trying to get them off the objective, but only one person on their own team was swallowed up instead. They can't even keep them alive. Second checkpoint now activated by Maris Red. They are trying to go the distance. We'll see if they can do just that.
MSU Maroon cracking at the seams. They're unable to finish Maris Red off time and time again on the last point in the overtime. I'm not sure what it is, if OT is a buff for Maris Red, but they might actually push this into a 3-3 overtime situation. MSU Maroon just don't have the answer for Mr. Fantastic and Wolverine.
I don't think we were going to be saying that at the start of this map, but we are for some reason. So, hey, more power to Maris Red, or Maris Reed is what they should be renamed to at this point in time. Either way, though, we do have the Born Again potential if they do come back and swap things up for MSU Maroon. And I know they're trying to stick with the Jeff, but it just hasn't been working as effective as they would like it to. We saw a lot more damage being dished out to MSU Maroon, getting back into the fights a lot faster, but now we do see the It's Jeff come through, and only a single pick this time. Not as consistent as they were before.
Ooh, Fear Magneto coming in from Banana Robot says you cannot take me down unless you go with yourself. Wrath of the Goddess, though, coming in. Why didn't we just combo the Jeff Nato together? Why are we using these ultimates separately? I guess I'm eating my own words. Ajax is going to pick up multiple members. Dark back onto his Winter Soldier, says, screw the Punisher. Let me play one of my most trusted heroes. Again and again and again, we see Dark perform when it matters.
That's it.
Does get the reset. That's overtime. I don't think Captain America is going to be able to touch this. And with a hectic back and forth in map 3, MSU says, sure, we can bleed, but you've got to go for the head. Maris Red get taken down 3-0.
Big win for Mississippi State University Maroon. Shutting down at Marist Red. Not the answer that they were hoping for, but Fearless Reed doing everything that they can for the victory this time. I said Marist Reed, well, it's actually Fearless Reed. That was the one who came out on top for their team. The Jeff worked out well, but it was mainly from what we saw the Adam Warlock doing some good work before. 50 assists, 43 eliminations, 15 final hits. Stark did some great work too. But again, Fearless Reed really just kind of keeping them in the fight, as we saw with the 38,000 healing, the most healing in the game, and a lot of damage too. So as effective as you would want to see a Jeff player / Adam Warlock from what we saw them swapping back and forth. And Maris Reed, all I'm saying is, where was this the rest of the series? If you could bring this out for the other series you have for your specific portion of Division 4, look a lot better. It just took them a little bit of time to get started, and it was too late towards the end there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I liked what I see. Ingenuity, adaptability, and a little bit of weirdness coming in. And honestly, MSU Maroon didn't know what to do with the Fantastic.
They didn't know what
to
do.
How is this guy like just double killing,
And the
triple killing
Wolverine.
us? Like,
Gotta give a shout out to the Wolverine too.
Yes. Owensky did a very good job getting multiple scoops in on that ultimate and really turning those fights around. You'd have to believe if they had a little bit more time in the beginning,
Just
maybe they opened up with it. Yeah, just a little bit. They might be able to get that into that OT state. MSU Maroon, though, being able to deal with whatever gets thrown their way in a 3-0 faction. Vaudable, I was completely wrong. I thought this game was going to be a lot closer. This series was going to be a lot closer. But sometimes ranks can be deceiving. And unfortunately for Marist Red, they get taken down 3-0. I would say arguably against one of the better or best Division 4 teams that we have right now. We'll definitely see some different swapping around after the fall season. But congratulations to both of our teams, both of our series today. For Series 1, very, very well played. And Series 2 for MSU Maroon. Those guys come away with a victory. Don't worry, we are going to be gone, but we've got more NECC action this week. We've got Rocket League and CS2 tomorrow. We've got League of Legends Thursday, and that's going to be my boy Yanni and Alec Battery on there. We've got Overwatch 2 on Friday. I'm super excited to watch more NECC action. And of course, next week, you have me and Vaudible's counterparts, Keg and CB, giving you more Marvel Rivals action next Tuesday.
New update as well.
Time, same place, new update as well. Those lucky ducks get to cast all the hectic, crazy things that are going to happen here. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much, Mr. Vaudable. Thank you, audience. Thank you, Reach That and Adam behind the glass, making us look good. And obviously, thank you so much to our sponsors, Wenzel's Meat Sticks, Extron, and Bye Bye Blue Light, because without them, none of this really happens. Go get some meat sticks. Go get some blue light glasses. Do what you need to do. But that's going to be it from us. Thank you so much. Have a great, great night.